now. Hey.
No tomorrow.
Right now.
All right. That's enough out of the both of you.
Take your magic moment. Let's do it right here and now.
So one of the guys that I play golf with, Tom Spriggs is the guy's name. Tom is a little negative.
Well,
I'll shut. I can't. He's from Ohio, but West Virginia, Ohio area, and talks like this. And Tom, I just can't hit. It's not going anywhere. I can't hit it anymore. I'm not any good. And I mean, Tom Spriggs, I'm not joking when I tell you he's at the driving range a minimum. Every time I'm at the range, I see Spriggs at the range, and I go to the range a lot.
Okay.
He does 2 sessions at the range a day. He's got his video. He's got his tripod with his phone to video his swing. Right. He's got those things you put over the tape that you put over your club to see where the ball is striking. I mean, I'm telling you, I've never seen anybody practice at the level that this man practiced.
What's his handicap?
He's single digit. He's a decent player.
Right.
If he could get out of the way of what's between his ears, he'd be a lot better. But the poor bastard fell and broke his leg the other day.
Oh.
I seriously don't know what the guy's going to do. I mean, I'm not joking when I say he spends more time at the range than we do doing this show in a week.
Wow.
I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, I don't know how this guy's going to survive the next 3-4 months. Like, I just don't know. I literally sent him a text and just said, thinking about you. Hope you're doing better. Hang in there. You'll be back on the range in no time. And that's not my nature to just send someone a text.
No. A snarky text, maybe.
Yes.
A funny text, but not a get well text. Wow. Hello, friends. Good morning, Spitz. Boppin, AJC.
Paul.
How's everybody doing this week?
I didn't start golfing until 2 years ago. Just never appealed to me. I got a family of 5, and they all did it, so they had their foursome, and I just was always kind of, have fun, and I stayed home. Well, a couple summers ago, I started golfing. I am just brutal.
That's what happens when you start playing. It's not an easy game.
It's so fun, though. I love it. I enjoy myself every time. Always want to make the turn, but I'm god-awful. I use my dad's clubs from 1995. Like, they're just brutal driver.
Persimmon?
I couldn't even tell you.
The Wilson staffs, the steel shafts?
Oh, probably. It's all dented. The club head's all dented up.
Look at Spitz. He's just so happy. I'm back in Florida, man. T. Haynes, Wancho.
They're all back, David. Everybody's back. We're at maximum capacity.
There you go. Hey, John Perry came back this week. After,
like I said, we're at maximum capacity.
After Chargers Jets.
Winds may get here. Countdown has begun.
Miller and Moulton, where winners are made. I don't know.
Good try.
Not great.
Make your own damn T-shirt. I know. I'm having to pay attention to the weather in the cities I'm going to. I mean, it's very dangerous times. Having to pack pants, shirts with sleeves. Very dangerous.
Socks. Well, that's what I was thinking about, like this trip for Christmas that we're going to Pittsburgh. I'm used to traveling in the summer when I pack shorts and T-shirts, and you can get a lot in a small suitcase. You start packing jeans and sweatshirts, there's not as much room.
Bulky clothes. $10 seconds.
Sounds like a threat.
Maybe it is.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. You're over the hump. Okay. You're almost to the point of making the turn for home. Let's get there together. Hope it's going well for you. How the heck are you? We are Miller and Moulton. This happens to be the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com, although we may be branching out beyond the state. Something to look forward to coming up in the near future. Isn't that right, Mark Miller? Good morning.
Look at that. Look at growing by a leap and a bound, not by leaps and bounds, just by a leap.
By
Then
the
we'll
way,
stop for a while.
when your waistline is growing, is that bound? Is that where I fit?
That's leaps and bounds for the both of us.
Well, it depends on how big the waistline is growing. But I have to admit, when I look down, I go, yeah, that's a bound. No, that's about right. So, how was your hump day? You play golf every now and then on hump day. Did you play?
I did. Won a little money. Good
Look
day.
at that. I haven't heard that come out of your mouth. Not about golfing. Gambling. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Miller is Mark Money Miller these days.
When it comes to Maction,
Oh,
2 for
please.
2 this week.
When it comes to Maction, Mark did say he only gave out one, hey, I'll put my, meager reputation on this. That was Toledo. He did say, however, I like all the favorites. And then he said, but I really like Toledo. I'll play Toledo. Yeah, all the favorites won and covered in Maction last night.
Yes,
and
they
were
did.
And they were all double digits.
Not a lot of good Maction last night and not a lot of good basketball. It happened again to me, David. Every once in a while I get excited to watch the NBA. It doesn't happen all that often.
Right.
But this Wembanyama thing is got me intrigued because he's so fluid for a big man that he is. I don't know if it's must-watch TV yet, but I'm interested. And last night he was playing at an hour in which I could watch him.
Right. He was in New York.
And he sucked. No. He stunk.
Oh, God.
He had a bad game. I mean, it was New York, the Madison Square Garden, his first game there, a big, exciting moment. And the Knicks blew their doors off and he played lousy.
Listen, the final line doesn't look awful, which once again can be misleading, the whole final stat sheet.
Now, David, I don't do this, and I shouldn't. I know you didn't, and you're a Knicks fan, but did you watch the game?
Like I said, the final stat line doesn't look all that bad. That's why stats can be deceiving. I didn't watch, but I know he didn't make a three. I know that. So
missed his first 5 shots. Looked a little nervous. He is 19, by the way.
Correct.
And I'm not going to quit watching because of that, but I have been on a 2-year roll that whenever I get excited to watch an NBA game, the NBA game does not deliver for me. I get a dud.
You should have watched the Heat and the Grizzlies. You should have watched the Celtics and the Sixers. You just watched the wrong damn game. In fact, that's what you should do. Okay? Trick yourself now. Say, I'm really excited for this game. And at the last second, say, but I'm going to watch this one.
If they're both on, that's an option. But last night, Wemby was the main attraction.
Right. Think about that. Okay. The Celtics and the Sixers were playing, and they'd rather show the Spurs and the Knicks.
Yeah.
Not that the kid's an attraction or anything.
Absolutely.
I think he played like 31 minutes, 14 points, 9 rebounds. Didn't make a three, though. He shot like 4 for 14 from the field. It was a hollow stat night. It was like a Zach Wilson, stat night where you look and you go, wow, he threw for 260 yards. Yeah, he sucked. But
so yeah, my NBA bubble was burst a little bit last night. I was looking forward to watching some good Wemby, and we got bad Wemby last night. Those things happen.
Are we okay with Wemby? Is Wemby going to stick? Okay. what's it, Wembenyama?
Yes.
Okay, so we think Wemby's going to stick.
It better, or I'm going to sound really weird for the next 10 years talking about him with a name that no one else is going to use.
It's much easier to say.
I don't know. I don't know if he likes it. I don't know if he wants us to use it. I don't know if the league's big into marketing, whatever they decide on, I don't know. Are shirts being made? That's what I want to know. Are people walking around shirts on the back simply say Wemby? Then okay, we're doing this.
Wemby does kind of have that Gumby look.
Exactly. Right. Okay, hey, who's our starting center? It's Wemby.
If he could be a great Gumby.
He could.
Did you guys see his Halloween costume when he was Slenderman?
I did, yes.
And he was wearing the morph suit, and he just, when you remove the human features and he's just a figure, he doesn't look like a real person. It's insane. But yeah, just hear Gumby point, but carry on.
Did you see the Brady tweet next to Wemby on, what was yesterday? Wednesday, so Tuesday. Did you see the Brady tweet next to Wemby? So Brady, who's like 6'4", never mind the fact that, he wears his hair and it kind of almost spikes it up. So, he's getting maximum height out of what he brings to the equation. And even if you go like the top of his hair, it doesn't get to Wemby's shoulder blade. It's like barely to his shoulder blade, maybe. And so it's a good picture of the two of them. They're both smiling, what have you. Brady's like, hey, was excited to meet you. Best of luck. And at the bottom, he goes, so Edelman, is this how you felt your whole career?
Took a shot at him.
Yep. Boom.
Right there.
Boom.
Standing next to a 7'4" guy takes a shot at Edelman.
Boom. Of course, Edelman's just doing all these appearances on podcasts, doing his Brady and Belichick impressions. Man, oh man. Remember how Caliendo was on the Fox pregame for all those years? I swear, I could listen to a year of, let's just bring Edelman out and have him do 3 minutes of Brady and Belichick. And right now, Patriots fans would like it too. They'd be like, man, it's the only part of the Patriots I'd like right now. Where's Edelman doing Brady and Belichick impressions?
Yeah, they're wanting Belichick fired. They're praying for the glory days to come back. I mean, this is unbelievable times of what's happening there.
I'll tell you what, early nomination for a poll question. If the Patriots fire Bill Belichick, do you want your team to hire him? Just as simple as that.
Huh, look at you.
Early nomination for a poll question.
Early nomination. That's done.
Yeah. And we all know that Bill Belichick, the GM, has absolutely stuck it to Bill Belichick, the coach. And we know, but that's... If the Patriots fire Bill Belichick, do you want your team to hire him? Yes or no? That's all. I will say, and you got to be of a certain age, this is ending like Landry. Tom Landry won for a very long time. Once the Cowboys got it going, man, did it go. From the mid-'60s through the mid-'80s, the Cowboys won. And they made the playoffs damn near every single year for 21, 22 years. They missed it like twice. And even then, they had winning. They're kind of like what the Yankees are doing right now. How the Yankees have had 30-plus winning seasons in a row. I mean, that's what the Cowboys did. And even in 1986, Tom Landry and the Cowboys were 6-2 midway through the season. And they finished 1-7 the rest of the way. And then they won like 5 games in 87 and 3 in 88. And Jarrett came in and said, yeah, you got to go. I mean, when it ended, it just ended. And Landry, he said, I was kind of hoping to be given a chance to turn this around. And it kind of feels like that's what we got going on here with Belichick.
My first boss in sports, Craig Jenkins, always would you reminded me of him of talking about Landry, because about the time I'm breaking into the business is shortly after he'd been fired, and he just looked. He goes, "Your job in this business is to become indispensable. That's what your goal is." He says, "But it's impossible because Tom Brady got fired, or Tom Landry got fired." He goes, "If Tom Landry can get fired, you can be fired. Anybody can be fired." That's always his gold mark of. When Tom Landry can be fired, anybody can be fired.
When Pat Kerwin makes his appearances on this show, he's brought to you by Pinchers. Tony Phelan owns Pinchers. Now, his family's running it now. Tony's like the, mostly retired CEO. But Tony's from Texas. And to this day, Tony can't root for the Dallas Cowboys. He has not forgiven Jerry Jones to this day. Now, if Jerry were to die or sell the Cowboys, he would go back to rooting for the Cowboys. But this is a 34-year hunger strike.
That's a grudge.
Yes.
I mean, for two guys that can hold a grudge, that right there is a grudge.
And it didn't matter that the Cowboys won the 3 Super Bowls. And, it didn't matter. Fired Tom Landry the way they did it. Nope. Don't like this man. Can never root for this man. Can't root for this team again. But it's got a bit of a, the Shula thing happened really quickly. 92, 93, 94, the Dolphins were legitimate AFC championship contenders, hosted the 92 AFC championship game. The 93 and 94 teams were really close. And then all of a sudden in 95, they were like old and slow. And Shula, the GM, in the early days of salary cap, had made some bad deals. And suddenly the Dolphins were old and expensive. And Wayne Izenga bought the team and he said, "Yeah, I'm making a change." It happened really quickly with Shula. This seems more Landry-like to me, Mark, with Belichick. And it's bottoming out this year.
Is it ever?
Whew. So that's my early nomination. That's my nomination for our poll question today. When Belichick gets fired, do you want your team to hire him?
21,000's the text line. Go to that Mark Miller, the David Moulton on Twitter to vote. It'll be up momentarily right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Adam, isn't Gumby's horse's name Pokey or something like that? It's not Horsey. He says if he's Gumby, who's Horsey? It's kind of funny.
Pokey.
Pokey, that's the one.
Pokey.
And to answer your question, Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson, not Kelvin, not Megatron. It's probably the Spurs' second best player. I don't know.
Okay. I didn't know what the question was when you just shouted that out.
Keldon.
Is he having a conversation with himself? And
Yep, he's having a Felipe moment.
And he's kicking his own ass, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay.
Adam, yes, the Gators should hire Bill Belichick.
What would that even look like? Bill Belichick coaching college?
Never happen.
Oh, I know, but that would just be
never have. They won't. They don't want to recruit. They don't want to do that.
He is so funny though, because he would probably just be like, you just hire a couple guys to recruit.
Could you imagine Bill walking into a living room?
Hey, how's it going?
I think your son can.
You have a very nice house here. Very nice house. Okay. Listen, I think your son's a heck of a player.
This coffee table.
All right.
Is it oak?
Right. Did you buy this or because it looks like you made it or somewhere? No? You know, my dad used to have a table like this. Anyway, we think your son's a good player, and we'd like him to play for us. NIL?
Wearing a sweatshirt with his cut off sleeves.
And NIL, what's that? No. This agreement's legit. It's not null and void. What's NIL? What are you talking about?
In high school, when me and my buddies coached the Powder Puff game, because it's what you do. We all wore sweatshirts with the cutoff sleeves.
Very good.
As a joke. We also wore headsets, even though they weren't connected to anything. It was pretty fun.
I love the McDaniel people in the crowd now.
Yes.
That there's a Mike McDaniel at every, like a guy dressed up like McDaniel at nearly every game
with the play sheet. Yeah.
That's. Oh my goodness, the Lakers are 0-5 on the road this season.
What does that do to LeBron's legacy?
Exactly.
I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but they started last season 2-10, and then they went to the Western Conference Finals. So they'll figure it out. It's every LeBron team every year. They're just like, what do we need? Who needs to play more? Who needs to play less? Who are we trading for? Who are we trading away? You know how there are some topics that are just better for TV and some that are better for radio? Doesn't it feel like this Michigan sign stealing thing is made for radio?
Yeah, but I don't think. But after yesterday, people don't care.
Yeah, that's true. Well, because there's no new information coming out. It's just that
No, people are okay with cheating. No, they are. People are. We don't have the morals as a society that we had.
Here we go.
Generation ago.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Roy Cummings will join us next hour. The Bucs going to be able to recover from their fourth loss in a row, and whew, what a defeat that was. I mean, they're still in it. Take a look at the standings. But are they? We'll talk to Roy Cummings about that next hour. And Well, the doctor makes his weekly house call. Yeah, it's fantasy football time 2 hours from now with Dr. Roto. We'll take your questions then, not now, then, right here on Miller and Moulton. So do you like my poll question?
Love it. It's already up.
What? Wow.
Had that sucker typed. I've retweeted it. We're off to the races.
Okay. All right. So the poll question is, when the Patriots fire Bill Belichick, do you want your team to hire him?
If. I just went with if. I'm not saying when. I know it's possibly when, but if the Patriots fire Bill Belichick, would you want your team to hire him?
Wow, you are being nicer today. You sent a guy a get well text, if not when. I mean, look at you.
Trying to stay positive, David.
Just the kinder, gentler Mark Miller here. Huh. Interesting. Hey, let's just say hypothetically that you're in a bit of a controversy. Start naming the groups of people that you would not want to come to your defense. Okay. And obviously violent felons and what have you, they're off the table, but groups of people that you wouldn't want to come to your defense. How about if I phrase it this way? You're involved in a controversy. Would you want a group of politicians to publicly come out and support you? Yes or no?
I guess it depends on what the situation is, but if my controversy is involving sports, David, I really don't want politicians to jump into the mix.
Okay. And Mark, as it so happens, the hot water that you're in involves sports. Yes. And as it so happens, there's a group of 11, 12 politicians that want to hold a presser. Got to get your ink. You got to get your TV time. Okay. And they want to publicly come to your defense. What would you say to them?
Stop it. Go do your job.
No.
This is nothing to do with you. We don't need. We're fine.
We're good. Just appreciate your support. But go stay away. Yeah, that's what I thought yesterday when all of a sudden 11 Michigan politicians, they sent their letter to the Big Ten that basically said, you better not. Don't you dare, or we're going to get mad. And when we get mad, do you know what we can do in this instance?
Get mad.
Get mad. Yeah. So you better watch yourself.
We could have another press conference, and this time somebody might show up.
We might start naming names. Who's the commissioner of the Big Ten again? Yeah, Tony. It's Tony, right? Tony. Yeah, that's what I thought yesterday when I heard the story. I went, oh, no. If you're Michigan, you're calling them up. You're going, no. We're doing fine. We've got this under control. Okay? They don't need your letter because our letter trumps your letter. Okay? We got it. Really? What does your letter say? Our letter says we will sue everyone and everything not nailed down if you do anything.
It is amazing, though. I was with two Michigan alum yesterday who both played athletics at the University of Michigan. One was a baseball player. One played for Bo.
Oh.
Right.
Wow.
And I just said, all right, what are you guys thinking? Underhand.
Sure.
And I know the one guy really well. The other guy I had just met.
Uh-huh.
And they both are like, well, Harbaugh didn't know.
Okay.
And both were like, this is just going to take away from, it just bothers me that because such a good team this is, and they're going to focus on this.
Right. Can you do me a favor? Can you, the next time that you're around a couple of Wolverine alums or fans, can you just throw it in underhanded, let them say what they say, and then say, hey, can you just role play with me for a minute? What would you be saying if this was Alabama?
And all I said is that I don't think there's a way Harbaugh didn't know. I said there's no way they'll ever be able to prove it. But these guys are the biggest control freaks in the world.
Ever. Did you try telling them that? I kind of do this for a living.
I said I've been doing this for 20 years. These guys are the biggest control freaks on the planet.
Right. The planet. A Division I college football coach is more in control than Putin. Okay? That's how much of a control freak they are.
But people are going to believe what they want to believe.
Right. No doubt. But that was what I thought. Okay. Michigan had already sent their response back to the Big Ten. Their deadline was yesterday. And apparently the response is, we're going to sue all of you. You all suck. Literally, if you lift a finger, if you fine Harbaugh $10, we're going to sue. Okay? Not a damn thing. You got that? We didn't do anything wrong. If we did anything wrong, they're all doing it wrong. Okay? So we're covering both sides here, and not a damn thing. Got it? Nothing. And then I heard the 11 politicians got involved. I would have been like, no, you're killing us. No, how do I say this to my friends? You guys have no credibility
whatsoever
on anything. Street signs, you don't have credibility. Never mind this. Please, just come to the game. You know, we gave you free parking. Just enough already. So I know some people are tired of the story and what have you. I just thought they'd get a kick out of the 11 state senators or whatever they are in Michigan. And
they stuck their chest out yesterday and said, we're on your side. And Michigan quietly is going, oh, God, no.
Oh, man. Who again? Who do we have to take off the list? Jack, Jill, Jennifer. Okay. Oh, man.
You already know the fan base loves it, though. See?
Do they?
Years of this country are on our side.
No. I know you're a Michigan guy here, but no.
Not the alums. I'm talking the fan base.
No. Do you know what the approval ratings are of politicians these days?
Low.
Like 3 points below a dictator. I mean, they're bad. No. I think even the fans said, hey, we got this. Don't drive down our road.
The president of the university that's on top of this. Yeah. He's got Jim's back. We don't really need you guys.
Yeah. We got presidents. We got ADs. We got, our law school. Trust me. Everybody, the Big Ten knows what they're messing with. Our law school can kick their department all over the place. Okay, you think our football team's kicking butt? Wait till our law school gets involved. It'd be child's play. You guys will be like Iowa on offense when we get done with you, okay? Then the politicians want to get involved. Oh, man, even the law students went, oh, for goodness sakes. Does he really want to speak before he wants to testify? We told him not to testify. He wants to testify.
Miller and Moulton. Roy Cummings, Doc Roto on the show. The starting five's next right here on the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Oh, blank. I grabbed the wrong bar.
Gotta go back. You know, it must just be my young, dumb generation, because I'm telling you, all this stuff that I saw yesterday on social media when the Michigan fans my age, they love this politician thing.
Really?
Yes. Well, again, we're young and stupid, but they're like, if the government's getting involved and they're on our side, then...
Well, the government it's 11 Michigan fans or Michigan alum. I mean, my guess is they're all Michigan alum.
Again, that is
maybe not, though. They could just be, they're probably not even smart enough to be Michigan alum. They probably all went to Western and they're Michigan fans.
Yes. Again, my favorite thing to ask Michigan fans. Oh, that's great. You're a fan. What year did you graduate from Oakland? It's just being from there, Mark, like you know as well as anybody, plus compounded with the fact that we went to Michigan State. You just can't escape it. They're everywhere.
You've escaped it. Give yourself time.
Oh, I think I have.
I don't even like.
Yeah,
it's funny because there's a member at our course, old dude, great guy, great golfer. Guy's like shot better than his age like 500 times. He's amazing. But he's a huge Sparty. Graduated from Michigan State eons ago.
Nice.
So he came up to me. He's talking Michigan State basketball. And I looked at him and I said, Joe, I'll start paying attention after the first year. Will you do a sports show? I said, yep. On the Florida Sports Network. I talk about football. I go, I don't talk about Michigan State. I go, I don't even really follow Michigan State the way I used to. I don't have time.
Yeah.
I love it when you come give me information, Joe. I go, hit me with all your stuff. I love it.
Yeah. That's great. Brown chicken, I'm 23. Turned 24 in 3 days. The Lions play the Chargers on my birthday. All I want for my birthday is a Lions cover. That's what I want.
You need a win.
What's
just
the
a
spread?
win. Oh, it's Lions are favored by 2 or 3. I
was
think.
gonna guess 2.5.
Just need a win. This would be a good win for them.
Just win, baby. You know SoFi is gonna be.
That'll be 30% Lion fans.
It'll be. I think more than that. I don't know. We'll see.
It might be. The Chargers don't play home games.
Right.
We'll find out how many people from Michigan live in the greater Los Angeles area because they'll all go. I mean, when, State played out at, was it Arizona State? I have buddies that live in Oregon. They all flew down to, everybody on the West Coast flew to that game to go. I was like, wow.
And we lost. It's a Herm Edwards. I think that might have been Herm Edwards' first or second game coaching there. Oh, just that. That was the beginning of the end for D'Antonio. Because I think that was our first game of the year, if I'm not mistaken, and we were preseason ranked. We were like 18 or 19, maybe. Lost. Oh, man. All right, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Roy Cummings, an hour from now, as we look ahead for the Tampa Bay Bucs, who are enduring a 4-game losing streak right now. And 2 hours from now, Dr. Roto answers your fantasy football questions as he makes his weekly house call. We've got Thursday Night Football tonight. And what a doozy it is! But before that, time now for... and before that, time now for...
To know, it's the starting 5 on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
Little opposite way single in the first inning. No chance of a no-hitter today.
Really? That's a hit? That seems like a pop out to second. I don't think that's got the distance. Hey, Michigan had till yesterday to respond to the Big Ten, and they did. And reportedly, here's what they had to say. You guys better not do anything, or else. And by or else, we're going to sue everyone and everything. And I mean, not even a thing to Harbaugh either. Don't even ask. In fact, you should get him a Starbucks gift card for all the grief that you've caused him this week, okay? They also told the Big Ten, listen, we didn't do anything wrong. But if we did, hey, you should see what the other guys are doing. So there. And besides, we've got a really good law school, and they've been telling us about due process. You guys should follow it. I just read an article the other day about Kansas basketball. It took the NCAA like 6 years, and they did nothing. How about you guys follow that script? The writer's strike just ended. You need some new material. The Big Ten, as early as today, could do whatever the heck they want. The waiting period's over. They've followed the rules. If they want to, punish Harbaugh or the team, they could do it as early as today.
By using a clause that's never been used in the history of the Big Ten.
The sportsmanship.
That is the other thing. They've never used this. This is Dean Wormer double secret probation.
And then on top of it, 11 Michigan lawmakers wrote Commissioner Tony Petitti a letter, and they urged him to act prudently and respect due process. And if not, well, there's not a damn thing we can do, but we're going to be really, really mad and disappointed. And think about it. When you were a kid, was there anything worse than when your parent or in my case, my grandfather, looked at me and said, I am really disappointed in you. Oh, my goodness. I got over it like 2 Wednesdays ago. Oh, man.
My grandmother told me that once. I don't care. The parent ones, you can roll those off because that was just a ploy. My grandmother said she was disappointed in me. She was right. That one hurt.
He lived another 25 years. I maybe on his deathbed, I just made amends. I don't know. Hey, we had action last night. Let's get back to on the field, okay? And here's the deal. In the MAC, much like the NFL, you've got only a few good teams and everybody else is not good. So what you do at this point of the season is you bet on the really good teams. Because Miami of Ohio was 7-2. They're now 8-2. They shut out Akron 19-0. See, Akron's 2-8. So Miami of Ohio, that's a win and a cover. Bowling Green, good team, winning record. Kent State, 1-9. You bet on Bowling Green, even though they're on the road, even though they were a 10-point favorite, and even though the game was on CBS Sports Network, so basically it was in the witness protection program. Take our word for it, Bowling Green beat Kent State by 30. And Toledo's 9-1. They're the champions of the MAC West. You bet on them, even though they were laying like 18 points. Playing Eastern Michigan. All right? They won by 26, please. Led by 32 at the half. Come on now. Tonight, here we go. The Chicago Bears can't lose tonight. Very few games like this in the history of the NFL. See, Arizona right now has the worst record by a half a game over Carolina. The Bears have the third worst record. Guess whose first round pick the Bears have? Carolina's. So right now, if the draft took place, Carolina, the Bears, would draft second, and then Chicago, the Bears, would draft third. Carolina's playing Chicago tonight. So if you're a Bears fan, but also seriously, if you're Chicago, you want to win because you want Carolina to get the number 1 pick. Yeah. Bears are a 3.5-point favorite. No Justin Fields. He can't go. The thought is he'll probably be ready for the next game 10 days later, probably, but he can't quite go now. Tommy DeVito is going to be the quarterback for the Giants.
Can't wait for that.
Tommy DeVito. They're in Dallas to face the Cowboys.
Do you know what the number is on that game?
All right. I have not looked. I'm being brutally honest. Can I take a flyer?
Yeah.
16.
You're right on the button.
I did not look. Honestly, yeah, I know.
It was 16.5 yesterday. It's down to 16. All that Giant money came in.
Yeah, I don't think it's enough. I really don't. So the Patriots they're already over on their way to Germany, or they may even be there. They're probably there because they're playing the Colts. It's Brady against Manning.
No, it's not.
No, whatever.
No, it's not.
Belichick against Dungy. Well, it's still Belichick. Here's the deal, though. J.C. Jackson, who they just traded for, apparently J.C. Jackson broke curfew on Saturday. And that's why he didn't start Sunday. He played, but he didn't start. But Belichick's still pretty annoyed. He left J.C. Jackson back in the States. Didn't even take him on the trip. The Patriots have the 5th pick of the draft. If the draft was today, they're 2-7. Playing the Colts in Germany. 49ers defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. See, they've lost 3 in a row. Then they had a bye week. Got to make changes, Mark, coming out of the bye week. So here's what they decided. Steve, yeah, you can no longer enjoy the press box food. You got to stand on the sidelines. You got to be able to look these Fred Warner in the eyes and get yelled at by him. Okay? And get yelled at by me, not over the phone. Got it? So he's going to be on the sidelines in Jacksonville Sunday, Niners-Jags. It's a hell of a year if you have Jag season tickets. You've already hosted the Chiefs. You're going to host the Niners. You're going to host the Bengals. I mean, damn.
And the Ravens too, right?
And the Ravens. I mean, once again, Damn. NBA last night, everybody played but Atlanta and Orlando. 14 games. I'll give you 4 of them. Heat won their 3rd in a row. Bam with 30. They beat Memphis 108-102. Grizzlies without Ja Morant. This just in. They're not good. The Knicks beat the Spurs by 21, but the big story was the 19-year-old kid. He was in New York. Think about it. 19 years old in New York. What can you do? You can't drink. You can't rent a car. Okay. I mean, what? He can take mass transit and drive around? Hit the 5 boroughs. I mean, what can he do? He's 19 in the city. Although there are places where, I will say with his height, although he doesn't even look 21. I don't know if his fake ID would work in the city.
It's tough when you're 7'5" to have a fake ID.
Right. I mean, somebody there's got to go, Wemby, hey, you can't be here, man. You're 19.
Well, for what it's worth, the legal drinking age in France is 18. I just looked it up. So
he's fine there, but not so much in New York.
Well, I'm sure there's also hundreds, thousands of New Yorkers.
This just in. I was just there, and I grew up near there. There's Chinatown. Okay, there's Little Italy. There's no Little France. Okay, in any of the 5 boroughs, there's no Little France.
Nope.
The last thing French in and around New York City, the Lady Liberty in the harbor. That's it.
Couple of good restaurants.
Couple, and he could probably get served. Well, no, he could eat, but he can't drink.
Right.
Anyway, he played 31 minutes. He didn't shoot well. He scored 14 points, had 9 rebounds. Hey, the Sixers and the Celtics played a really good game, and Philly won at home, 106-103. I'm telling you, Sixers without Harden are going to be better than the Sixers with Harden. Denver and Golden State played a whale of a game, and Denver outlasted the Warriors 108-105. Jokic with 35. After the game, he said, I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I don't care if we have practice, which I don't think we do. I'm staying home. I'm swimming in the pool with my daughter. I'm exhausted. Jamal Murray out another 3-4 weeks for the Nuggets with a hamstring injury. One college basketball game of note, 10th ranked FAU. Their first game after going to the Final Four. Credit to the Owls. Dusty May and company, they got a good schedule this year. They went to Loyola Chicago. Not a lot of mid-majors, never mind majors, raise their hand and say, yeah, I'll go to Loyola Chicago and play. And they went there and won by 13, 75-62. That's a win and a cover, Mark. Once again, FAU, a covering machine. They were last year. They start off again this year. Hockey, Panthers tied it in the 3rd. Then Sam Reinhart, 15 seconds into overtime, won it. They beat the Caps 4-3. Ottawa 3 in the 3rd, beat Toronto 6-3. And the LA Kings with their 7th straight road win, won in Vegas 4-1. A lot of people think the Kings are ready to take that jump this year and challenge the big boys. We'll see. Baseball, LA Angels. I like this hire. Ron Washington. Remember, he was the Texas manager who got him within and out of winning the World Series 12, 13 years ago. He hadn't managed since he lost the Texas job in 2014. But he's been regarded as the best infield and third base coach in baseball. He's 71 years old. The Angels said, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. He's good. We're going to hire him. They only gave him a 2-year deal, I think, because he's 71. And the Phillies and Bryce Harper with an announcement. Harper's no longer an outfielder. He's going to play first base for the rest of his career, which means that the Phillies free agent first baseman Rhys Hopkins is not going to be playing for the Phillies anymore.
That's how that works, David.
Right. And so Harper, I will say, Phillies defensively will have a good infield because Harper looked great at first base last year. And now that's pretty much at 10 minutes before the hour. That's all I got.
That was the Starting Five every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
You know, we could be the Levitard show or the Mike Bianchi show out of Orlando if you want. We could just be firing away with the poll questions today. We could be snarky. You're being nice today, though. You may not have it in you today. All right. I have it in me today. I got a little snark.
That's good.
All right. You're nice.
What do you have? I mean, is this a little Dan Patrick-esque? We're going to have a poll question in an hour?
Right. What would it take for you to watch the Carolina-Chicago game tonight?
A court order.
Someone else can pay my Prime subscription. Then I'll watch.
I got to imagine Al Michaels is going to be so grumpy tonight.
That's the reason to watch, is that Herbie's the nice guy.
And Al's going to be like, are you serious?
He's going to be so snarky tonight.
He's literally going to say something out loud to the effect of, do I really have to broadcast this game? For goodness sakes. I'm in the Football Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame. Really? I got it as 1 and 7, 2. What?
Did you guys hear about the Taylor Swift thing a couple weeks ago when he called that Chiefs game on Thursday night? He was like, they were like, why didn't you mention Taylor Swift up in the box? And he was like, this isn't Entertainment Weekly. That's what he said.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, Kelsey is going to fly to Argentina to join her on the first part of her, now the world tour part of this, or the South American part of this tour. He's got the bye week, so he's going to go down and take in a show.
I'm sure that's all he's going to do. He's just, he's only seen her in concert once, so I'm sure he wants to see the show in Buenos Aires and see if it's different than it was in Kansas City. So, well, what can I say? He's a big fan.
I just, wanted to add to that starting five, making sure we got all of the
Mark, believe me,
out there.
Believe me. See, CBS has had to deal with it. Fox has had to deal with it. All right. Amazon's had to deal with it. NBC's had to deal with it. Who's the one broadcast crew who hasn't had to deal with it? Guess who's in Kansas City a week from Monday for a Super Bowl rematch? Only the second time in the history of Monday Night Football that they'll have a rematch of the previous year's Super Bowl. But do you know what the big story will be, Mark? Is Taylor coming to the game? And we need a Taylor cam.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
It's very true, Tim. It's been up for 2 days. I talked to T-Buck when it came on. He's like, and he finally couldn't figure out his password, and he finally got it. I talked to him yesterday. He goes, oh, I got it. He goes, and he doesn't use it to really bet. He goes, all I'm doing is betting hard parlays. He was just $10 goofy parlays all over the place. I think most people that really gamble are like Bud. They still go through a guy. That's crazy that these sites shutting you down like that. That's amazing.
Yes. Yes, but she has 3 concerts in a row. Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Rio de Janeiro. And then she doesn't have another concert till Friday. But do you know how far it is from Rio de Janeiro to Kansas City? It's further than flying to Hawaii. It is interesting, though. She's an Eagles fan.
Not anymore. I mean, not for now. Now, when they break up before the Super Bowl and she's wearing an Eagles jersey at the game.
Still crazy to me how much Travis Kelce's jersey sales skyrocketed. I mean, it makes total sense, but it's hilarious to me. You got
I'm waiting to see a
16-year-old girl,
16 to 18-year-old girl wearing a Kelce jersey somewhere.
They're walking around somewhere because those jersey sales went up 600% or whatever it was. Insane.
So how weird is it to take a look at the NFL draft order and see that right now the Lions would pick 29th?
That is so weird. That is just crazy. And what's even better, David, is that on tankathon.com, they've got the draft order. And once they get to 19, they go wild card round losers. And at 25, they go divisional round losers. So at 29, they have conference championship losers. Detroit and Baltimore. What? What?
I'm looking at the same thing.
Lions, Minnesota. First round matchup. Then they'd get Seattle.
Ugh. The bane of my existence, the Seahawks. We are 1-9 against the Seahawks.
Actually, I think the Seahawks or the Niners. Aren't the Niners now technically with Seattle losing? Don't the Niners, aren't they the division leaders right now? Aren't they the 3?
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour number 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Thursday. Thanks so much for being with us. Florida Sports Network, FloridaSportsNetwork.com. Roy Cummings to join us later this hour. We'll talk about the Bucs. 4-game losing streak now. Season beyond teetering. And what a heartbreaking loss in Houston. Oof. It's as bad a loss as I think we can remember the Bucs having in the last 15 or so regular seasons. And Dr. Roto in our 8 o'clock hour to answer your fantasy football questions. NFL tonight, Mark.
Hold off on the text line with the fantasy questions.
Yeah.
And for those of you texting my personal phone, I'd appreciate if you'd hold off till at least 8 o'clock as well.
Yeah, come on now. You know the drill. If you have Mark's own phone number, I mean, you know what he does. You've listened to 3-4 times.
Don't worry. I'll get your question in.
Yeah, come on.
But, David, I've got to bring something up to you because I saw this story and I immediately thought of you.
Okay.
Because, one, I know you love food, and pizza is one of those foods that everybody loves.
Right.
But Pizza Hut has introduced a new pizza. It's available only in Hong Kong, so you don't have to worry about running out and grabbing it today. But I want to know if you would eat this pizza because I know one thing you don't like, and that's snakes. Pizza Hut now has a snake meat pizza.
Yeah, no. And I'm sure they taste like chicken, but no.
Shredded snake meat, black mushrooms, and Chinese dried ham.
And I like ham, but no.
You wouldn't try snake.
No, I wouldn't. No. I'd rather have broccoli. I'd rather have blueberries.
Would you rather put pineapple on a pizza?
Yes.
Than snake on a pizza?
Yes. And I hate Hawaiian pizza. And I like ham. And I like cheese. But no, pineapple on a pizza ruins it. Anchovies on a pizza ruins it for me. I won't, no.
But you'll do pepperoni. What the hell is the difference? Little pepperoni, little snake.
There's a big difference, actually. At least to me. I'm just saying. Now, I will say this about a Hawaiian pizza. When I delivered pizza, and occasionally we would either kind of screw up making a pizza, so we wouldn't send that one out. We'd put it on the rack, and the staff coming in would just grab slices, while working. I would just pick the pineapple off and then deal with the little pineapple juice in the little spots. I don't know, fold it up, whatever. Toughen up. I'd eat my pizza, but I'd peel the pineapple off. No. Mark, I don't like snakes. I really don't.
I thought this would help you get over your fear of snakes if you consumed one.
Mark,
top of the food chain.
Mark, one of the most harrowing moments of my life, I had to kill a snake in my house in Fort Myers like 10 years ago. It was not a big snake. But I tried grabbing it, and it bit me. All right? And I said, well, you got to die. And go, I'm not doing this again. And so it was, honestly, and then, you got to cut the head off.
Right.
Okay. So, oh my goodness. It was 20 minutes. Harrowing.
The snake bit you?
Bit me.
Why did you try to pick the snake up?
Because I needed to remove it from the house. And I wasn't thinking I'm going to have to kill this thing. I just thought, like a black racer type snake. I don't know if it was a black racer. I think it was. I think it was a baby black racer. I don't know. I mean, I didn't die from the bite or anything. I knew it wasn't a poisonous snake. And so, I tried to just grab it, figured, I'd dangle it and then open the door and then get rid of it.
Where's that 3-iron when you needed it?
Oh, phew. So anyway, I was there with Tupperware and knives. Okay.
I would have paid an ungodly sum of money to have been able to witness you taking on the snake.
Well, and then, so I had to trap it, okay, and I trapped it underneath the Tupperware, okay. Then I had to somehow let the Tupperware up just a little bit so the head would come out. Then I had to put it down, and I had to cut the head off.
Tougher for you, killing that snake or attempting to fix your computer?
Well, I have to admit the computer has never bitten me. So it's a different kind of fear with the computer.
Fair enough.
So, no, I mean, I was sweating like crazy. I mean, it was like I had done hot yoga. I mean, honestly, I must have lost 7 pounds in 20 minutes. I'm out at the end of the driveway. I got 2 bags. I got the body of the snake in one bag, the head and the snake in another.
What, were you afraid if they were in the same bag, they would reattach and come attack you again?
Mark, I was not taking any chances. Okay. And I'm standing at the edge of my driveway, and I remember the neighbor across the street's looking at me. He's like, "Man, you look like you had a workout." I go, "Oh, you don't want to know. Just doing some work around the house."
Yep, just a little work.
Yep. A snake in the house. Honestly, I think I'd rather have a burglar.
I definitely would rather have an intruder than a snake in my house.
I don't know if the Tupperware will work on a burglar, though. Okay, but man. Then, of course, had to throw the Tupperware out.
Well, yeah.
You can't use that Tupperware again. I mean, there's
That's
no way
done.
we're washing it. No. So then that had to go. Oh, man. And now people in the Twitch chat room, I guess there's no python hunting for you. The thing can wrap itself around my waist and choke me to death. No.
I would eat snake on a pizza, though.
Seriously?
I had rattlesnake when I was...
Poll question.
Would you eat snake on a pizza?
Yes. Pizza Hut's unveiled a new snake on a pizza.
Look at you. Look at you go today. You are just full of it.
Yep. We're making up. We're like minus 17 on the poll questions. Let's go. Let's get caught up today.
My buddy's father, I think he would go to Oklahoma every year and hunt rattlesnakes. And they would bring a few back, and he would do a little presentation at his restaurant, and then they'd serve fried rattlesnake. I had some. It was fried.
I guess I'm good. Like, is it a circular?
Well, this is shredded snake meat.
Shredded. Okay, so it just looks like.
They say it tastes,
fajitas?
of course, like dried chicken.
So what? They're trying to make it look like pulled pork. Okay, is that it? The way that they shred it. So they're trying to make it look like strips.
From the picture I am seeing, it looks more. It looks like eel to me. Like if you've ever had eel at a sushi restaurant, that's what it looks like to me.
Well, you're just making this more appetizing by the sentence.
Eel's delicious. Don't kid yourself, David.
Okay. All right. No, the answer's no, Mark. The answer's no. In fact, I'm having PTSD just thinking about me and the snake in the hallway.
I know, and you snacked during the show. I think I've
opened up the candy bar. It's not a candy bar, though. It's a breakfast bar, a high-protein bar.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I'm ready to eat it, and you go, "Hey, would you eat snake on a pizza?" Now
and for David to have food out of the wrapper in front of him and not eat it is an amazing accomplishment. What's that drug that Barkley's taken? That the weight loss drug. I mean, all I have to do to you is talk about snakes. That's your weight loss drug. I think we finally figured out a way.
Yes. If you followed me around like somebody with a python followed me around, I'd be 143 pounds.
Hiss every once in a while. I would pay a large amount of money right now to have David's wife walk in his studio with a fake snake just to see what would happen.
I turn and look at the snake and her and be like, "Don't you hiss at me. I'm talking to both of you." Oh, man. I am tougher than I look, though. I mean, I did kill a snake.
How big was the snake?
It wasn't that big. It wasn't that. I mean, it was like 3 feet, maybe. It was a baby. I was, unfortunately, it bit me. I wanted it to grow up and have a happy life. I did. Okay, here, go find your parents. That's what I was trying to do. It bit me. Listen, remember I told the story. My mom, she, taking me through the grocery store as a kid, and I'm sitting in the thing, and apparently she was going down the aisle, and I bit her. Okay, and she smacked me and had her nursing ring on, split my lip right open. Did she feel bad? No, I bit her. She didn't feel bad at all. As she said, I went to the next aisle, grabbed the thing of Kleenex, stuffed half of them in your mouth, and then yelled at you the whole time, "Don't you ever bite me again."
And all the other parents in the store were completely on your mother's side.
Well, back in the day, yeah. I mean, you could do that 55 years ago.
Now
yes.
she'd be in jail.
Oh, she wouldn't have made it to checkout. Right. And when I bring that up to my mother, and she goes, you never bit me again. See, once again, it's kind of like, Barkley when he joked about his teenage daughters and dating. How's he going to handle it? Well, I'm going to kill the first kid that comes to the house, and I figure the word will spread. When little Ernie there didn't make it back to home, okay, the other snakes looked around and said, well, damn, we can't go to that house.
Ernie?
You
named the snake.
I just had to come up with a name
on
the fly.
It's good.
Came up with
Not
Ernie.
Bert, but Ernie the snake.
Ernie.
David the snake killer. He killed Ernie the snake.
Killed Ernie.
The 3-foot black racer. Probably a foot and a half.
It was 3 feet. It was 3 feet.
3 feet. You trapped it in a Tupperware.
Double Tupperware. Okay, at the same time. It was the big bowl, too. It was like the only thing that my wife used. Okay. She's like, where is it? I go, I had to throw it out. And then I had to tell her, I killed the snake. What? She was more upset about losing the Tupperware. I'm like, there was a snake in the house. And what am I going to do without my bowl? You don't cook anyway.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, hop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So my Mets fan neighbor talked to her yesterday. She just looks at me. She goes, No, the husband's got his Mets hat on, and she knows way more about the Mets than he does, and it ain't close. Like, she's a baseball fan. Like, she knows the sport. I mean, I really and truly knows the sport. She just looks at me and she goes, what the hell are they thinking? You guys got no experience. I go, so yeah, they couldn't get counsel. But what the hell? What the hell are they thinking? I'm like, I don't know.
A shot back on a Burmese python.
By the way, right now, 72% of the people would not hire Belichick to coach their team.
Look at that.
Mark, I am backstage in the StreamYard thing whenever you get a minute. So what direction do you think the Patriots will go when they move on from Belichick? Will they try to do the same?
I don't know if they're moving on from him. Everybody's convinced they're moving on from him. I'm not so convinced.
Well, they can't fire him mid-season, right?
No.
They can't.
Why not?
Because they just can't. You can't do that. He's won 6 Super Bowls. You can't do it.
Why not?
I don't know. You just can't.
Sure you can. Yeah, you can. There's no way this ending is going to be good, by the way. I mean, the only way is the dream scenario I came up with in which, he's still the coach and Washington or somebody calls and you just gracefully just hand him over.
Unbelievable. We have 2 poll questions up.
Just keep firing these things off.
Why not?
Okay, the Patriots have a bye. If you're going to do it, you do it coming out of this game. Also, Trent, what if the Raiders win?
Yeah, they'd be back to 500, correct?
Well, but also, if by the time Kraft and what have you, they get back from Germany, and then the Raiders beat the Jets, that means they'll be 2-0 higher after firing their coach.
Yeah.
But I think more importantly, if you're Kraft, you fire Belichick, you promote Mayo, and you see what he's like. This way you have a little bit of an idea when it's time to make a decision at the end of the year. Because, there's no guarantee they're going to get Vrabel.
Right.
And if I was Vrabel, I wouldn't take the job. What division do you want to be in going forward? The South or the East?
Good point.
You want to live in Nashville or Massachusetts?
Nashville.
The tax difference is pretty big. You want to follow Belichick or Jeff Fisher?
Now let's have a snack.
20 seconds.
Or a breakfast
by the way.
bar.
Now I'm ready to eat.
Is that a snake bar?
It's a high protein bar.
It's probably got some snake in there.
Maybe snake oil.
All of a sudden, it's coming back up. Not so tasty anymore. 5 seconds.
First off, it wasn't tasty to begin with.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Top of the morning to you. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Been a wild show. What, 2 or 3 poll questions already up? We're lucky to have that many in a week. And, Mark daring me to eat snake pizza, which apparently they're serving in Hong Kong. And I really like our first poll question. So when the Patriots fire Belichick, Mark says if they fire him, he's being nice today. I'm the one with snark today. It's nice, Mark Miller. It's snarky, David Moulton. And when they fire Belichick, do you want your team to hire him? Yay or nay? And I said, of course, it's Bill Belichick. Give me a break. And Mark, how many people want their team to hire Bill Belichick?
32%.
Now, remember, you don't have to hire him as general manager. Okay, just coach. Coach with, some say in personnel. That's all.
Can you get him? Is he going to coach again if he's not the GM? If he's fired by the Patriots, will he coach again if he's told, hey, I'll hire you as a coach, but we're going to have a GM. You're not in charge of personnel.
We'll see. I mean, once again, he's got the power and control in New England. When he loses it, he'll see what his options are. But he's a coach. He'll want to coach. He will not want to take time off. He will want to coach. So
he's going to look really funny as a special assistant to Nick Saban in Alabama for a year then.
He is, especially since he's going to wear a hoodie. Okay, he's like, I'm not wearing the golf shirt. I don't do golf shirts.
Don't you think he wants a change of scenery?
I just think it'd be great to have him say we're on to Vanderbilt.
We're on to Mississippi State.
So, of course I'd want to hire him. He's Bill Belichick. Are you serious? He's still a terrific coach. He's just been a horrible general manager for damn near 5 years now. He's run that roster right into the ground. Sorry, Bill. The evidence speaks for itself. You lost your touch when it came to personnel. You haven't lost your touch about being able to coach. In fact, why don't you listen? You're 71 now. Why don't you just come here and worry about coaching? Don't worry about the other stuff. We got the other stuff. And if you really want a player, we'll get him for you. I promise you that. You pound the table and say, I really want this guy. We'll get him for you.
I'd love to see him get one quarterback again. Just an average quarterback instead of below average. And see what happens.
I mean, you're the LA Chargers. You go 9-8 and miss the playoffs this year. Bill Belichick's available. Seriously? You're not going to hire him. You're not going to hire him. Who are you going to hire instead of Bill Belichick? That's a better question.
Let me ask you a question specifically with that team. There's no other jobs available. That's the only job that's offering Belichick a coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked to Pat Kerwin on the show a million times that coaches interview owners, not the other way around.
Right.
Would Belichick go work for that guy?
I think so. He's an older owner. Okay, he's cheap. But he's an older owner who would, what Belichick would do for him off the field, Mark. They might actually have a few people interested in their games in that market. He would certainly get them a couple of more national games. Chargers get like 2-3 national games a year. They'd get all 5 or 6. The most you could get, the Chargers would get. And he would take the job. For that quarterback, also, those Khalil Mack, Bosa, come on. Belichick looks at that roster and goes, I'd win a Super Bowl with that roster.
It does go against the theory that Pat Kerwin's given us on the show for a decade. that coaches like that don't go work for bad owners.
But I think Belichick's like, listen, with that roster, I can deal with you. I can take it from here.
Okay.
The other reason that's a brilliant hypothetical too, David, is because in a vacuum, the Chargers probably want to go offensive head coach next. They would still do Belichick in a heartbeat. Like, I think that's the only candidate that's a defensive coach that they would actually hire after what Staley's done.
Well, I have to admit, nobody knows what that owner is thinking with that org. He's cheap, though. At Mark, I actually think it's the owner. Belichick would be like, yeah, I need to make more than that. And Spanos and their family would be like, yeah, we don't pay that for coaches. Yeah, I'm not just any coach.
Would be fascinating to me, because you've always brought up Washington with the new ownership group and the money they have. Money's no object. They pay Belichick whatever it takes to get him. That's easy. That makes all the sense in the world.
Plus,
but an owner who's cheap, an owner who is not respected by coaches in the league to get the coach, I think it's a bigger stretch than him just saying the roster's great, I'll go.
Plus, I also think he can get a little more. He can get a little more say in personnel there. Although he, remember they got rid of Marty Schottenheimer after a 14-2 regular season because him and the GM didn't speak for a year and a half, and they sided with the GM. But I do find it funny. It just people are like, nope, not interested in Bill Belichick. Really? Really? Yeah, he's lost his touch in New England. No doubt about it. Come on. You got one game to coach. Coach now, not GM, coach. You got one game. The rosters are even. You got one game to coach. Who do you want to coach the team? Who do you want to prepare the team that week and coach them that day? All the head coaches in the league. Who are you taking over Bill Belichick? One game to win. Some of you might take Andy Reid.
Andy Reid.
Okay.
Just because this lifetime, you're giving me 1 week to prepare how good he is coming off of buys and all those things. Yeah. Andy Reid's my guy right there.
That's fine. Who else?
No, you just asked me for one.
Right. No, but I'm saying who.
No, I know.
I didn't ask you for one. I said, who are you taking? My point is, come on. The guy can coach. He can still coach. He's just a horrible general manager at this stage of his career. Horrible. That roster's bad.
Time now for the play of the day. Trent, what do you got for us?
No great action last night. Too many NBA games to pick, so I went with a little bit of an outside-the-box pick today. David, you'll appreciate this one. James Harden with a horrible miss last night.
Harden, that's coming my way. I got it. Unbelievable. I could see it from the beginning. Ed, you take over, my friend. That might have been my greatest call in NBA history. I knew it from the second it left his hand.
James Harden shoots the ball from the left corner, and it misses so badly, it heads over to Ian Eagle at the scoring table, and Ian Eagle catches the ball. James Harden finishes with 12 points, shoots 4 of 9 from the field, outscored by Russell Westbrook, who scored 13. Clippers fall to 3-4. Not looking good.
Felipe come back? What's going on? Sam Reinhart scored the winner in overtime
game winner for the Florida Panthers on the Florida Sports Network.
What the hell? James Harden shoots an air ball? That's the play of the day?
Blame my X feed. I don't know. I'd go off what I see on X.
Look at that. He is young. He's
passing the buck on X.
He's ready. He's going to have a long career. He's passing the what's it? Week 3. He's passing the buck. Good.
You got to give the broadcasters a little credit too sometimes. Ian Eagle having some fun.
He may be a politician one day the way he passes the buck.
I'll tell you. Why don't you send out a press release? You got anything to say about the Michigan football thing? Roy Cummings. He's next.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I am getting butchered in the Twitch chat
Well,
room.
you
Rightfully
should be.
so. Yeah.
You should be.
I'm here for it. Shout out to Nick 1230 though, for he got it. He said it's not about Harden missing it, it's about Iron Eagle catching it. That's the kind of thing that you'd see on Scott Van Pelt. This is the best thing I saw today.
Here's the thing.
Saw.
You put the key word in there.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
a highlight that you got to actually have to see.
You do. Yes, correct. I just thought his commentary was funny as well, but it is what it is. There was a lot going on last night.
Apparently not.
Slow day.
Oh, man.
Johnny O, all in on what? I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Is it NBA? Is it the show? That was a pass on a shot.
Yeah, go. Just Google, or not even Google. Just search on X. Search James Harden, or just search Iron Eagle. It'll come up right away. It's Twix around these parts. Yes, you're correct. I just don't want to steal David's thunder. That's David's thing.
Let's go with it. Run with it. Make it a thing.
Did you come up with that yourself, David?
Yeah, we came up with that.
Just on the fly one day?
Yeah, we were just, bouncing back and forth. Twitter, X. Well, because I think I just promoted somebody. And it was, well, you can't, it's not Twitter anymore. And I go, well, Twitter, X. I go, what are we going to call this? I got Twix. And so that's how we came up with it.
Genius.
Good morning, Roy.
I agree 100%. It's genius. what do you register trademark that?
Yeah, unfortunately, that candy bar is really going to get in the way.
I guess so. Well, yeah. It's only good thing of being we can add an extra X or something.
Well, yes.
But Twix is perfect. Perfect.
Anyway. Listen, forget the Bucs. I'm going to ask you on air about the Cubs.
Please. Yeah. Heartbreaking and exhilarating all at the same time.
Well, that's what I'm curious about. I mean,
Yeah.
Cubs fans, first off, did you think David Ross was a good manager?
I thought he was doing fine. As a first-time manager, I thought he did a pretty good job considering what he had. I don't think he had much to work with, especially not this past season, but the year before. I mean, he every year he went into the start of the season knowing that management was likely to tear down whatever it was that he had that was good by August. So that's not easy to deal with.
What surprised me was I thought he did a good job with the bullpen, and that's usually a sign of whether a guy can manage or not. Can you handle a bullpen? I thought he did a good job with it.
Yeah, I do too. I thought he did a real good job this year of turning some guys into longer relievers and some guys into closers. And, I mean, he found a closer for him. So, and Adbert Alzolay. So let's see if it but I still think they probably need to go out and get a real closer, but he did a pretty good job. I mean, look, they were right there. They were right there.
It's the playoffs by a game.
That's it.
Coming back in 5 seconds.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
At 22 minutes before the hour, 1 hour from now, Dr. Roto makes his weekly fantasy house call. And he'll do it here on Miller and Moulton. Get your fantasy questions ready for us. Not now. It's a little early. Sometime next hour, start sending them in. Roy Cummings joins us at this day and time to talk Tampa Bay Bucs. It's been a busy week for Roy. He's dealing with the aftermath. You've been covering this team for over 20 years. All right?
Yep.
How many regular season losses have been tougher to stomach than that one?
Boy, yeah, that was, that's right up there. They're all tough, I guess, for the team in particular. As a reporter, you're very objective and, you just kind of, whatever's the best story. And in this case, it was one heck of a story. But just from a meltdown perspective, it's just very rare that you see something like that. I mean, what got me was that they didn't play their brand of football. They kind of allowed Houston to take it to them a little bit. And with a rookie quarterback, no less. I said a couple of weeks ago when they were going up against, forget who they were playing, but they were going to face another rookie quarterback. And I said, look, it's a very simple, formula. You blitz. And they didn't blitz. I mean, this is what Todd Bowles has kind of, made his mark on. And maybe you can get a little bit blitz happy at times. But he didn't get blitz happy at all in this one. And I think that really cost him. At some point, you got to throw some blitzes at a rookie quarterback and not let him sit back there and just pick you apart, which is exactly what C.J. Stroud was able to do.
Well, Roy, from your answer and from things that I've read and watched as well, a lot of folks blaming this completely on coaching. I mean, Bowles has taken the heat for this loss more than personnel, and that's not a good sign.
Well, the personnel is what it is. And, that's on the general manager and the staff ahead of the coach more than anything. And, but this is also, a personnel that for the most part, this is basically the same defense that they had a year ago. A couple of changes, obviously, and some significant ones. But, Vita Vea is there. The same secondary is there. The linebacking core is intact. Shaq Barrett is back. You've got the pieces. And it just they didn't play the brand of football that they've been, kind of coached to play. I mean, I think it was Zion McCollum was saying this week, we got to find our identity. Well, You got to find it. You got to get it back. You had an identity. You were an aggressive football team attacking the quarterback. And now Todd Bowles is saying, well, I'm not sure we have the personnel to attack the quarterback. I don't quite understand that. I think he's concerned about what he's got in the secondary, putting them in man-on-man situations. And I think you probably figure this out for most teams. They're better in man-on-man than they are in zone. Zone, you're going to let somebody catch the ball and you're just going to attack it after that. Man-on-man is much, much more aggressive, and I think they're just a better team when they're more aggressive. They can't play off the line of scrimmage. They can't not use the linebackers as blitzers. That's part of their strength, running downhill. I just don't think they're taking good advantage of the personnel they have.
Doesn't this go back to, quite frankly, in the last 3 years, their young pass rushers that they've drafted just aren't getting the job done?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. But Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, I think he's taken a step forward this year, and I think some others, Anthony Nelson, some of those guys, I don't know that they're being used enough. They mostly blitz linebackers and cornerbacks, and that's fine. But, we don't see a whole lot of stunting, really. And I just think there could be more of that as well. And again, Shaq Barrett's just as good as there is. He can get there. And, most teams have one guy that can get there. And he usually gets there pretty regularly if he's given the right scheme to get there with. And I think that's part of it. So I can see why the heat is on Todd Bowles. I don't think he's playing to his strengths here. It's one game. I know they've lost, a batch in a row here, but it's one game. I think it's correctable. But if they can't do it this week against Tennessee and Will Levis, well, then you've really got some issues. And I don't think the Glazers are all up for changing a coach in midstream, but that might be the end if they can't get it done this week.
Another rookie quarterback. Another opportunity for Tampa, who's in the thick of it. I mean, despite all this negativity, Roy, it's still a division that's absolutely winnable. Someone has to win it. And that's where the loss is even more devastating, because with Atlanta losing the way that they did, Tampa had a real opportunity and looked as if the offense did something they had not done all year. They drove the ball down the field. Baker had a great drive to put them in the lead. They're finding the tight end. Evans is getting open. I mean, the positives on the offensive side of the ball are all there. The defense just didn't show up.
Totally. And look, this is why from the beginning of the year, I thought this was the best team in the NFC South. I thought they would win more games than they lose. And I still feel that way. To me, the personnel is there. They're a good enough team to do it. They just need to take advantage of the personnel that they have. And I just don't see that happening really on either side of the ball. As you pointed out, it's starting to happen a little bit more on the offensive side. I think they finally figured out the running game, which is very important. But they seem to have figured that out. And look, when you bring in a new coordinator on the offensive side, it's going to take time for everybody to figure things out there. You bring in a new quarterback, that's going to take time. But again, the defense, we know what this defense is capable of. We've seen it happen. They're still good in the red zone, which is great. But you know what? They get gashed against the run, and now they're giving up these chunk plays against the pass. And I just think I think they've lost their identity. I just think they've kind of lost their way here a little bit. They need to go back to the basics of what Todd Bowles does and start from there again.
They did run the ball 31 times last week. They at least made a commitment that, hey, even if we're not productive, because they only rushed for 81 yards.
Yeah.
Okay, but the 31 attempts set up the passing game, and we saw what Baker was able to do. It's also confusing, Roy. He says he doesn't have the personnel. Oh, it's the same damn personnel he had last year. In fact, I could argue you're healthier this year. You've had times where some guys in the secondary were banged up, but you were as healthy in the secondary for that Houston game as you've been all year.
Yeah, totally. As I said, you've got Shaq Barrett. You got Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, who's better. Kalijah Kancey looks good. He looks very good.
He can get on the field. I love that draft pick. He's been unable to get on the field.
Right. But when he's out there, he's effective. And, I understand that they're probably just running schemes with him right now. There's a certain package of plays for him. But still, the personnel is there. And I think the secondary is still better. Look, you've got one of the best safeties in the game in Winfield. And they're just, again, I think for whatever reason, and I'm not sure what scared him off, but Todd Bowles has gone away from what it is that has made him the defensive wizard, if you want to call that, that he's got the reputation for being. And maybe they just think, everybody's going to, get ready for the blitz. But you know what? Still, numbers beat numbers. And if you throw too many at them, somebody's going to get free somewhere. And I think they got to get back to that, especially against a rookie quarterback, that's what if you're facing Russell Wilson, that's one thing. Even now, he's smart enough to figure it out. If you're facing, Patrick Mahomes, that's a different deal. But against CJ Stroud, in his 7th game of the year, come on. You got to put some pressure on that kid.
And they got to do the same thing here. And Roy, I'm listening to you, and I know you're trying not to say it, but if the personnel's there, then there's one problem. And that's the coaches outmatched for the rest of the coaches, that they are getting out coached on a weekly basis because the games have been close enough. Their record should be better than it is.
Oh yeah. And they are definitely being out coached. They were really out coached in this game against Houston. And I got to think that I got to believe that there have been some discussions inside the building this week with Todd Light and everybody else, and Jason Light rather, and I got to think that there was a real, kind of a come to Jesus type meeting here, saying, okay, what are we doing? We have completely lost track of what it is that we do here. So I would be surprised if we don't see a significant bounce back this week. This game is ripe for that. It would seem to me that you got to get back to the basics defensively and attack this quarterback. And if they do that, I think they'll probably find success.
Talking to Roy Cummings about the Tampa Bay Bucs, who have lost 4 in a row. They've gone from in first place to 3-5, facing what looks like a must-win at home against Tennessee on Sunday. Also, Roy, because if you play the schedule game, they go to Frisco after this one. So, let's play the game. They beat Tennessee. They lose at Frisco. They're 4-6. But then Indianapolis, Carolina, Atlanta, Green Bay, these are all winnable games.
And I would contend that Frisco's a winnable game.
Take it easy, big fella.
Well,
come on.
Look, every team's got this clunker in them, and maybe San Francisco's already had it, but look, they are not the powerhouse that I thought they would be. San Francisco. I think, again, young quarterback, blitz him. I don't think they'll win the game. I'm not predicting that, but you're right. Let's count that as a loss. But the others are certainly winnable, which is why you've got to figure this out. There is nothing this team should be afraid of. They should be the aggressor here. And as long as they are, I think they're going to succeed against these lesser teams that they've got on the schedule. They did a good job early on beating teams, winning games they should win. They need to get back to that.
Do you think if this continues to not go well, because this organization wanted to go 3-4 years with Todd Bowles here. They wanted to turn this around together. But do you think, if they don't beat Tennessee, they're definitely going to lose to San Francisco. Now we're talking 6-game losing streak and 3-7 before they head into that stretch. You're going to have to start doing the, new coaches stories again, aren't you?
Possibly, but I would say this. I think a lot depends. You know what? In fact, it depends on Baker Mayfield. If Baker Mayfield decides I'm going to look elsewhere and goes elsewhere, then I think you make the change. If he's willing to stay, I don't think you make the change, because one change leads to another, and now you're asking Baker Mayfield to play in yet another scheme. Unless you want to make Dave Canales your head coach, which I don't think they're ready to do. But if you change out Todd Bowles, you're blowing up everything, and it's going to affect everybody. And at that point, maybe you are looking at a teardown and a rebuild. I don't know that that's necessary because, again, this team, if you get a little bit better, a little bit higher draft pick, you might be able to, get that one guy that you really need, that real true edge rusher, or that superior guard that you're missing to get the running game going. You might be able to actually get that piece. And that's going to promote you and bring you up just another level, I think. And then all of a sudden, okay, you are without question the favorite in your division, and you can, you work it from there. So, but I think if Baker Mayfield decides, there's something better for me somewhere else, then I think you take the opportunity. You probably blow it up because, again, Todd Bowles, there's no question, he's in a job interview right now for his career at this point.
Roy Cummings covering the Tampa Bay Bucs. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at rcummingsfhcn, rcummingsfhcn. Roy, as always, appreciate your time and your insights. Stay well.
Same to you guys. Take care. Thanks.
Roy Cummings, kind enough to join us once again here on Miller and Moulton. For the record right now, Mark, Tampa Bay would have the 8th overall pick of the draft.
You led me right to where I wanted to go, David, because if they lose this game and one more, that 8th is becoming 6th or 5th, and it's not about Baker Mayfield's decision of where he goes next year. It's about what quarterback they take first. They're getting eerily close, David, to being in contention for one of the really good quarterbacks.
That's true. And if you've got Chicago winning their 3rd game of the year tonight, you're right. They lose to Tennessee, who's another 3-5 team. Figure they're going to lose to the Niners. They're 3-7. I mean, we could be talking about the Bucs with a 6-game losing streak and about the 5th overall pick of the draft. By the way, how about Bill Belichick coaching the Tampa Bay Bucs next year?
Was thinking the same thing as we were talking. And the Glazers have gone to New England to get somebody before. They're familiar with how this works.
Just saying.
They need to sell tickets.
Could you get Brady not to come back and play, but just to come back and be around the team?
Quarterback coach? Not in a million years. Miller and Moulton. Dr. Roto in 40 minutes, right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your travel from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, The Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Okay, so I have a random question because David was singing Van Halen earlier. Are you a Van Halen fan?
Huge.
Do you like the Sammy Hagar era?
I like some songs. It's not as good as the Van Halen era.
Right. That's kind of the consensus, right? I mean,
if it isn't, it should be.
I love 5150, the whole album. Other than that, though, I mean, it's, like Van Halen 2.
Fair Warning is an amazing album.
Yeah,
Start to that's Sammy Hagar was here about, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, pre-pandemic, I guess. And Michael Anthony still tours with him.
Michael Anthony, he's phenomenal. Great backup vocals.
Great
bass
He
player.
sings a lot of lead now on there too when they play.
I would love to see those guys.
It was fun show.
They're getting
Went
up
with
there.
the FGCU women's coach. He's a big rocker.
Oh, really?
Huge rocker.
Love that.
Who'd you go see?
When Semesco and I went and saw Sammy Hagar. A couple other guys went with us, but
great performer.
I was just telling Felipe of Semesco's metal love.
You mean Trent?
Trent, yes.
Freudian slip. Freudian.
Well, that's because you went James Harden play of the day.
That was awful. I will fully admit that.
That was rough.
I didn't have a whole lot of time this morning. This is my Tim Tebow promise. I will be better. Got to bring better stuff to the table.
My Tim Tebow promise. We will never lose again. Take it easy, Deadstruck. Take it easy, big fella. Come on.
Uh-huh. 5150 that's one of the few albums I have on vinyl. Because, vinyl's kind of coming back.
It's huge.
Kids my age.
No. My son's got a bunch of vinyl.
Yeah. I have probably 12, 15 albums or so. 5150 is one of the first ones I got.
All right. Should we check out Van Halen Kids band?
Oh yeah, he's opening for Metallica on their tour right now.
It's good.
He's pretty good. It's different. It's not like if you're looking for Van Halen stuff, that's not what you get. But he's a very talented musician. That's how I would describe him. He's creative.
Have you ever heard of Vincent Neil Emerson?
No.
Country guy. Heard him yesterday. Somehow my mix, my Apple Music just started randomly playing stuff.
Yeah.
And it had good.
That guy's got to go by Vince Emerson because if you say Vincent Neil Emerson.
Right, I know.
People are going to think Motley Crue in a heartbeat.
It's a half-hour drive to the airport for me, and I just jam Van Halen.
Love it.
That's my thing going to the airport.
Here we go.
listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And just like that, it is the 8 o'clock hour, third and final hour along the network. The Diamond District bonus hour awaits in the 239. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. And our poll question today, it's the first poll question. We're doing the Le Batard, Mike Bianchi, Dan Patrick show thing. If the Patriots fire Bill Belichick, I suggested when the Patriots fire Bill Belichick.
It's a little mean, David. It's a little harsh.
It's going to happen, though. Would you want your team to hire him? Yes or no? And so far, nearly 3/4 of you are like, no, I'm not interested in one of the greatest coaches of all time.
And I think that's because a lot of us don't believe he would be just coaching, that he would be coach and GM, that he wouldn't go anywhere unless he had say over personnel. And it's obvious he can't do that.
Okay, it's called leverage, guys. It's called leverage. He's in his early 70s. This isn't Bill Belichick when he was the defensive coordinator of the Jets and Parcells was trying to keep him. And so he thought he'd engineer it where he'd keep him going way to Kraft in New England, who Parcells had a beef with. And so I'm resigning and I'll make you the coach. And Belichick was like, oh, yeah, I'm way too far down the negotiation table. No, I'm out of here. Besides, I'm getting full say over everything. Hey, it's not 25 years later. He's not in his mid-40s anymore. Here's the job. It's coach only. I'll give you a say. Okay, but you don't get final say every time. No, you don't. Sorry.
All right, let me just ask you, Mr. Owner. We'll role play here. You love doing this stuff. I'll be Bill Belichick.
Uh-huh.
And my demand is that I am GM and coach, that I am in charge of personnel. And you want me, Spanos, Davis, new group in Washington.
Right.
You walking away from Belichick because he wants say in personnel.
Yes. And I love Belichick. You know that.
I love
Belichick.
Question, David.
Right. I'm a Belichick guy as a coach. I think of Belichick as a coach the way I think of Rick Pitino as a coach. I think if the rosters are even, Pitino's team wins. If the rosters are even, Belichick wins. That's how I feel. And I still feel that way. Even at 71, I still feel that way. But Bill, I'd look right at him and go, Bill, I'm crazy about you. Okay? The money's not the object. Bill, you're in charge of the roster. That roster has sucked. You're responsible for it. I can't give you control of this roster. Sorry, you've lost your touch. You did a really good job for a long time. A long time. You still know good players. You do, just not all of them. Bill, I'm sorry. I'm just going to take your record, put it back against you. Bill, you've had 20 years you can't draft a wide receiver. 20 years you can't draft it. You traded for Moss, and the second best wide receiver you had, you traded for Welker, and the third best wide receiver you had was a 7th-round pick in Edelman. You can't draft a wide. You're terrible. You're great at the secondary. You know corners and safeties. All right? You're good at linebacker. You're good at edge players.
He's good at that side of the ball, period. I mean, defensively, he still knows players. He does not.
No.
And Bill, offense has always been, come on, other than the 1 year, they were never great offensively.
Right. Outside of the couple years, 07, 08 with Moss. Still at his peak. No, and I would just say to him, I go, Bill, listen, Dante Scarnecchia is one of the 5 greatest assistant coaches in the history of the game. I mean, you gave him blank and he turned it into effective offensive lines. He just did. And he ain't there anymore. And now you're giving these guys blank, and guess what? They're blank. I mean, Bill, no, I can't have you draft an offensive guy. I can't have you do it. Sorry. Defense, fine. You can pick all the defensive players, honestly. But no, I can't on that side of the ball, Bill. You're good at stopping them, but you ain't good at drafting them. Sorry. The track record is what the track record is.
And David, your points are all valid. I guess I'm still of the belief that I think Bill walks away then if he doesn't get it his way.
And I'd say, Bill, that's fine. Bill, I'm just not giving you final say. I'm giving you a lot of say.
And there's going to be multiple teams that are going to want his services if he is fired.
You
it's
think?
not. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the 3 teams we just mentioned would all be interested.
Who?
That I just mentioned. Vegas, the Chargers, and Washington.
Okay. He won't go to Vegas.
What if they're the only one offering him total control of personnel? And the other 2 aren't.
I don't know if he'd go work for Mark Davis. That one may be.
Okay, but all right, let's just take them out of it. Well, there's going to be 6 jobs open.
Sure.
That's just the average.
Yeah.
There'll be 6 jobs open in the NFL.
Right.
Let's just say 3 of the teams are interested in Bill Belichick. Do you think that's a fair assessment that half the teams looking for a coach would be interested in the greatest coach that's ever coached?
Yeah, oh, sure.
Okay. Do you think one of those 3 would give him everything he wants, particularly if there are several teams interested in him?
Yes, I do. Somebody will give him a blank piece of paper. Listen, I think it's going to be Washington. I've said it going back to May. I did. I even said it on a national show. Bill Belichick, the GM, is going to get Bill Belichick, the coach, replaced. And Washington is going to say, oh, thank you. And they're going to look at it as Lombardi all over again, 55 years later. And the new owner, and please, Magic Johnson at a presser with Bill Belichick. Magic will even get him to smile. It'll be phenomenal. Yeah, they'll give him full say. Hell, they gave it to Ron Rivera. They're not going to give it to Bill Belichick?
Thank you. That's all.
But here's the thing. Belichick wants to win. And he's going to say, okay, who's the quarterback? So either you got one or you're in prime draft position to get one. And that's why I keep going back also to, see, Washington, I think, will give him the blank piece of paper and a pen. The Chargers will give him Justin Herbert.
The Bears could give him both.
They could.
I mean, as you were speaking, I'm in my head going, okay, who's the team that's going to have the draft capital and the opportunity to give him a second run, if you will, with the quarterback? Could be Chicago. That would give him personnel as well.
Mm-hmm. Could be. Bears are notoriously cheap. It would mean getting rid of both the GM and the coach, who both have been on the job a short period of time. The other thing Belichick would want to know is this Kevin Warren guy that you hired as president. He doesn't have anything to do with the football, right? That's just to get a new stadium. Because I don't want to have to go through Kevin Warren to get to you. I do think he would say that to Chicago.
And I think that they would give him that demand.
The funny thing is Bears fans would much rather have Jim Harbaugh than Bill Belichick. Much rather have Jim Harbaugh.
But the point that I'm making, David, is simply that I believe Bill Belichick can get control of personnel if he were to go somewhere after New England.
Yeah, and I'd probably lose him. But I'm coming at this from I've got a quarterback. I just need a coach. Kind of like what the Cubs just did. They thought they had a pretty good manager in David Ross. I can get a great manager in Craig Counsell. I'll get rid of my pretty good manager and hire the great one, and I'll pay him. And that's where I'm going. We're also thinking about lottery teams, if you know what I mean, who are going to have a draft pick who can get their hands on it, how about, let's take a look at the teams that are going to, sneak into the playoffs. First off, by the way, if you're the Buffalo Bills and this thing, Right now, the Bills are on the outside looking in. Bills could be there may only be one spot coming out of the AFC East. There may not be two playoff teams coming out of the AFC East this year. If Buffalo goes 9-8 or 10-7 and misses the playoffs, you have a chance. Okay. Yeah, McDermott. Oh, good coach. And he's got a lot of say in personnel. Hell, he handpicked the general manager. He's got damn near as much say as Andy Reid has in personnel. Sean McDermott, Bill Belichick. With Josh Allen.
I know he'd never go back to Cleveland, but Stefanski, another team that's going to be right at that 9-8, 8-9 mark with an elite defense and maybe a quarterback.
I mean, right now he's leading his division, but I don't think, Dennis Allen in New Orleans, I think he's got to make the playoffs this year or he's out. I mean, it could be a team that's like right there. I mean, listen, as crazy as it sounds, I mean, if you're the Jets, you're really married to Salah.
Stop it.
Okay. Okay. Listen, the job is the Chargers' job. It is. That's the one. They go 9-8 again. They miss the playoffs. That's the one. That roster.
The Chargers aren't missing the playoffs. What's the matter?
Man, you and your love affair with the Chargers. Although I got to tell you, the uniforms were good to look at Monday.
Yes,
would have been better with the white pants, but still, they were good to look. A helmet and that top from the waist up. It's the best.
Yeah, but even the bolts on the side of the pants look great.
No, the side of the pant bolts are nice. I just wish the pants were white instead of yellow. But man,
fair enough.
And they look good. They look good. Sacking Zach Wilson 34 times. It was just, but apparently, nope. I don't want him. Bill Belichick. No, I don't want him. I'd rather keep what I have. Matt Eberflus over Bill Belichick. Yep. I'd rather have that.
Dr. Roto, in 25 minutes, start sending your questions in to set your fantasy lineups. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
in a very backwards way, I am amped for tonight's Thursday night football game. There's some games, I think you'll agree with me on this. There are some games that are so bad.
Yeah, Michigan State, Nebraska. That set football back. That's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, rough.
I didn't even get it. Michigan State got an interception. Like, I didn't, no fist bump. I just watched it and went, oh, God, that's awful football.
Yeah.
I collected my 20. I had to make a bet. I got a buddy that's a Nebraska alum. We bet $20 on the game. He paid me last night. I'm like, that was just awful. It was hard to watch, but I'll take your 20.
Winners. Yeah, this game is going to be so bad. And I also, it helps too, because I got two of my good buddies from college. One's a Panthers fan. One is a Bears fan. So I'm excited.
A Panthers fan?
Yeah, he's from Carolina. He just came up to Michigan State. I don't know why. So I'm just excited for the group thread tonight. There's going to be a lot of jabs. Dolphin, I assume that's a question that you want Dr. Roto to answer, but
yes,
I don't know.
Where is that?
You said
golf or Dobbs.
Herbert might not be a bad play, though. Do you think the Lions defense is going to be up for this one after
yes.
the bye? Tee off, get that pass rush going again. We'll see. I hope.
Well, the unders have been on a roll, Spitz. What do we got? 36.5 tonight? 38.5? What do we got?
Yeah, I think it was 36.
Basically, the game's like 20-16. Give or take a half either way.
Watch this thing be a shootout. That would be so fun. Shootout.
John, they filed an appeal. Was it Tuesday? With the Florida Supreme Court, but can we just get it before the U.S. Supreme Court already, please?
Yeah, I don't think anything will really happen with that whole Florida Supreme Court thing.
No. Especially
given the fact that DeSantis has appointed the majority of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, all but two, I think. Dolphin, I don't know. Keenan Allen looked really good Monday against a very good defense. They could use a burner. There's no doubt about it.
Well, losing Williams kills them every year.
That hurts.
Yeah.
Guy can't stay healthy.
Eckler's the engine, though. If they can, he's phenomenal.
Who?
Eckler.
Yeah. He's a touchdown machine.
Yes.
Oh.
I have no quarterbacks.
Neither does the NFL, Mark.
Do you pick up Will Levis?
Yeah. Why not?
Will Levis over Gardner Minshew, don't you think?
Yes. Well, Levis at least has D-Hop, and they had a connection last week.
Heineke, Carr, or Levis?
Look at you with your fantasy questions.
Well, I have Mahomes, but he's on the bye this week, so I
think it's
Heineke.
I think it's Levis.
Yeah, I would have taken him if he was available, but he's not. Do it. It'll be fun. It'll at least be interesting what happens there.
Oh, it's a waiver. How is this a waiver claim? Oh, because somebody just dropped Levis. All right, that's terrible. Got to wait till Saturday now.
Well, you'll be at the soccer game. You'll have time.
Wow.
Wow. The first one, the second one, or the third one of the day?
Coming back.
Those are...
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Dr. Roto making his weekly house call in a little more than 15 minutes time. Start sending in your fantasy football questions. We appreciate you holding off till now. We can kind of keep them together. It's easier for us to keep track. And we actually do a pretty good job of getting 90% of the questions in some way, shape, or form to Doc. Sometimes we combine a couple and what have you. But most of you, we do a pretty good job of taking care of. So in the Twitch chat room or texting in at 21,000, the text line, FSN Radio. If you've never texted us before, that's the, keyword there, all one word, FSN Radio. You use it, 21,000, bada bing, bada boom.
All right, couple of things on that text line. On our last little conversation on Belichick, there's a lot of no's.
Oh, no, don't want him. Not Bill Belichick, not interested.
Right, well, and to be fair, a lot of us are not convinced he would be the greatest coach of all time without number 12. This one I love. Belichick coaching at Navy next year. He always said it's his dream job.
Yeah. Well.
And just a lot of people commenting on the Brady-Belichick run.
Okay.
Just trying to read the text. Just trying to be fair to those texting in, David, that have a different point of view.
Right.
There's a lot of no votes, and they're backing them up with the that comment.
Well, I'm just curious then. So it's all Mahomes? It's all Mahomes. It's not Andy Reid. It's Mahomes.
But Andy Reid's done it in multiple places with multiple quarterbacks.
Okay. By the way, Bill Belichick won 11 games in a season with Vinny Testaverde. The first time Vinny Testaverde actually showed he could play in the league. Did it in Cleveland. But, yeah, okay. I mean, he went 11-5 with Matt Castle. Brady got hurt in the first quarter of the first game of the year. Played the rest of the season with Matt Castle. He went 11-5. Matt Castle. But, hey, it's okay. We can agree to disagree. Bill Belichick's available. I'm not interested. Oh, okay. Right. Got it. Yep, not interested. All right.
And my no is simply that I don't think he'll take a job unless he's the GM, and I don't want Bill Belichick the GM.
And what if though?
Yes.
He says, for your job, I'll just be coach. I want to be heard, but I want to coach your team.
I'm in.
I would hope so.
Couldn't be in fast enough. But I think he'll have multiple offers, and I think he will have total control wherever he ends up if he's fired by the New England Patriots. Not when, if.
He might get fired Monday. Okay. I mean, Bob Kraft, I think, is at the point he's about ready to pull a Pat Hayden with Kiffin on the tarmac. He may leave him in Germany. He's so angry. I know he's not going to do that, but you get the idea. I do think, though, if they lose, he'll be fired. I really do, because I think he'll want to give Mayo the bye week, and he'll just want to see, let's see what this guy has. I think, because I actually think Kraft's already made the decision he's not bringing Bill back. This has run its course. We need new blood. And so I think he's already made that decision. Here's why I think that. Because there are a handful of reporters in New England. You don't go to print and start talking about firing Bill Belichick unless you've got information about firing Bill Belichick. You just don't do it. And once they started about a week and a half ago talking about replacing Bill Belichick, I thought, Kraft's been talking. Kraft's been talking off the record. Either him or his kid. Somebody's talking. Interesting. And they were asking questions of Belichick to Belichick this week. They're feeling it. 24 years, they haven't felt it. They're feeling it. I think they got information.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. And whether or not it's to the full extent of what you said, that he already thought he's moving on, or it could be very simply, we're thinking about it. Now they write it, and Kraft may still want to get the feel of New England, if you know what I mean. That's the old trial balloon that goes up, and he can now get between sports talk radio, between the papers, he can get a vibe on what people think. Can he get away with this? And overwhelmingly to the Patriot fans I talk to, they're all ready to move on.
Right.
They're fine with it.
Yeah. And I could say, and by the way, if I was a Patriots fan, I'm ready too. Because I don't think he would accept the lesser role where he is. And we just say, hey, this was a great relationship. And you've been amazing. But it's run its course.
But it's on to Cincinnati, Bill.
It is.
Literally, for you.
Or Vanderbilt, or wherever it is. Right?
Wherever you're going.
Yeah.
It's on to Washington.
It's on to Los Angeles. Edge rushers and a quarterback. What more do you want?
And a running back that's really good running the ball and catching the ball, David.
And he's a little guy. You love little guys. Just saying.
A receiver that's open on every play. Because Keenan Allen's open on every damn play.
Well, yeah, he's good. He's really good. Yeah.
He can move the chains.
Whenever he wants. Yeah. He can actually catch the ball with one hand and physically move the chains with the other. He's so good. Yes. But
God, I thought you were almost going to go into an Ali there for a second.
I'm so fast. I could turn out the light, get in the bed before the room gets dark.
Happen to go down a TikTok hole and watch Billy Crystal doing Muhammad Ali to Muhammad Ali. At one of those roasts. He's doing Cosell and Ali to Ali. Man.
That's outstanding.
That's good stuff right there. And you just did that. The way you ended that, it's like you gave me a little Ali and it got in my head again.
So Dr. Roto, in about 10 minutes, start sending in your fantasy questions, either in the Twitch chat room or text them into Mark at 21,000. But our poll question is, my poll question is, when the Patriots fire Bill Belichick, okay, do you want your team to hire him? Mark, he's the nice guy on the show. He gets a bad rap. Okay, there are many times in which I'm the and he's actually the nice guy. And so he says, if the Patriots fire Bill Belichick. Okay.
David, do you realize we have two poll questions today? We have our Belichick poll question, right, and we have our shredded snake meat pizza.
I notice I don't even reference it.
That comes from Pizza Hut offering a pizza with shredded steak meat. It's only in Hong Kong, so don't worry about it. You can't rush out and buy one. But would you eat it? And right now, David, there are more people that would eat snake pizza than hire Bill Belichick for their team.
I don't want to say, Bill, your stock has fallen or anything.
Holy blank.
Maybe we could combine that into a poll question. Which would you rather have? Belichick as your coach or eat snake pizza?
Wow.
Wow. That's hell, I'd rather have Belichick as my GM than eat snake pizza. Man, oh man.
Now one of my goals in life is to somehow sneak a piece of snake on a pizza that David eats.
I just want to know what that looks like. I got to go to the internet and search this up.
X has it. Story in the USA Today about the snake pizza.
I'm not even, you guys are like scaring me away from eating pizza for the next foreseeable future. Man,
David,
stop it already.
7-Eleven pizza or snake pizza?
7-Eleven pizza, which I swore I would rather die than do, just because I think so highly of pizza. And I just don't want it from a convenience store. But I want it more than a steak.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Life Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlifetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other. With a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Larry, that's what we said to Trent. We're like, really? Reinhardt's overtime goal for the Panthers? Totally. We're with you, Larry. All right, send in your questions. Fantasy questions for Dr. Roto. Here's the deal. You only get one. And if you send in more than one, I only ask the first one. I ignore the rest. I handle Twitch. Mark handles text.
Cracklin' Jacks is still around, huh? Is that a 951, right, Jake? That sounds like a place where you'd get some snake.
I am going to be sick.
Snake meat. Exotic meat markets. Rattlesnake sausage. Rattlesnake bratwurst. Rattlesnake sausage with rabbit and jalapeno. Pretty expensive. Here at the exotic meat market. I love me some frog legs. Love frog legs. Want to go to Little Bar right now and have some frog legs. That's worth the drive, because there used to be a little French restaurant basically right by the courthouse that had great frog legs too. Frog legs and stewed tomatoes. They carry a lot of exotics, Jake. They do.
John Jimmy P's. I remember them. They're good. Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. About a couple months ago. Yeah, he had a medical procedure that went awry a few years ago, and he never, ever had good health after that. And they screwed up. I mean, I would not be at all surprised if there's a lawsuit that... Did you? He's a great guy.
Well, since a hospital killed my father-in-law, my understanding is in Florida, there's like a cap. There's like a set amount. There is no basically suing. It's kind of like you file in that, yeah, okay, here's the deal. And it's like, here's $200,000. Boom. That's it. Next.
Is that a pink monster? What do you got over there?
It's an Alani, I think it's called Alani.
Okay.
It's Kim Kardashian's thing. I'm trying. It tastes all right. I don't even know what it is.
Energy
though.
drink.
I don't know what flavor it is. It's just it's the Kim K flavor.
Is that a pink monster? Or are you happy to see me? What is that?
Okay, I'm gonna call Dr. Roto. Hang on.
Okay. I got my buddy's questions here. I got my
Man, I got 2 so far.
2 personals?
2, no.
Oh. No, I don't mean you. So there's a little clip here I saw. Gary Player he's commenting on he's on doing golf on a Euro tour.
Okay.
And he's talking about Augusta and Annika Sorenstam being the first member of Augusta, and she's maybe one of the best women's player ever, or was, or whatever the case may be. That's great. And the commentator, who's a woman, goes, "Yeah, it's great that Augusta is also having the what they're doing now for women, and with that women's national tournament, it's a great thing at Augusta." Gary Player, well, I'll just have to disagree with you there. Oh, snap!
Wow. Against the women's amateur tournament. Talk about a curmudgeon.
You got that right.
Hey, no answer. I'm just having bad luck on the phones. I'll call him back, but I'll give you the point when he's on.
Yeah, I think listen, I'm not a fantasy person, but I think it's an excellent site.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour is up. It's our last segment along the network. The Diamond District bonus hour awaits for those in Southwest Florida only at the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com, although I think we're expanding beyond the borders. More on that coming up. He's making his weekly house call. He's Dr. Roto. You can find him on Twix, Twitter/X at Dr. Roto, DRROTO. Add a .com to that, and you get his website. You can hear him weekday mornings, or weekend mornings, I should say. Weekend mornings on SiriusXM's Fantasy Sports Radio. Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Good morning. I think I may be, can you believe Tommy DeVito is the Giants starting quarterback? I mean, what does this league come to that Tommy DeVito is playing? He barely played at Syracuse.
What is it, the 10th rookie quarterback starting this year?
You know, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a really avid football guy, and we were both saying, think of it this way. Could we say that Kirk Cousins, the top 10 quarterback, when healthy?
Yes.
Yes.
5 years ago, he'd be top 20. Like, the quarterback play is terrible. The coaching is terrible. Like, I don't know whether the product is as good as it used to be. And I'm not trying to talk about the days of yore, but like, man, Taylor Heineke and Tommy DeVito? This is not the NFL that we should be remembering.
Well, and Doc, I think part of it, and I was thinking about the same thing earlier this week. It's as great as the red zone is, it's equally as negative because you just watch good plays and people aren't watching games. So they're not seeing how bad the product is on a weekly basis. What they're seeing is a bunch of close games, and then they go to one of them at the end.
Right. But, look, the answer to all these questions will never happen, which is just contracting teams. Like, if you got rid of, 4 teams, you'd have a much better product. But nobody wants to do that because there's money out there. So, for fantasy football players, it's frustrating because, you're looking at your teams and you're like, man, my team's not very good. Well, welcome to the NFL. A lot of teams aren't very good.
All right, let's get to some fantasy. Send in your questions, whether it be in the Twitch chat room or, well, you can text them into Mark at 21,000. All right, Dolphin has got Justin Herbert, and he goes, man, it's just not good enough for me. I'm thinking about going either Goff or Dobbs. So A, should I bail on Herbert? And B, if I do, Goff or Dobbs?
No. Firstly, the Jets are really good defensively. That was to be expected. And I know it's terrible to say that because I played Herbert in a couple of leagues last week, and I won almost all my leagues except for 2 where Herbert was in them, and I couldn't even put up 10 points from him. But this week against the Lions at home, yeah, Lions are much improved. But give me some Herbert. I think he's going to throw for 3 touchdown passes. That's the overreaction and overcorrection. Josh Dobbs had a magical game against Atlanta. Okay, I'm not saying New Orleans is not Atlanta. So let's just simmer down here, Doll fan, and let's play Herbert.
I have an average quarterback question. My guess is someone's looking to stream a quarterback because it's either Purdy at Jacksonville, Baker versus Tennessee, or Geno Smith versus Washington. Who do you like the best, Doc?
Can I tell you, I really like all 3 of those guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Purdy is going to be so much better. He's going to be clear of concussion. He's going to have Deebo Samuel back. I think that game is going to be higher scoring than people think. Baker Mayfield pops in every sim because you can throw on Tennessee, especially in man-to-man coverage. This could be Mike Evans, a nice Mike Evans week. And for better or worse, I know he's been disgusting, but if Geno Smith can't get it done this week at home against the Commanders, then there's no hope for him. So I honestly think any of those 3 are really good starts.
All right, Skip Lowe in our Twitch chat room wants to know at tight end, Schultz or Everett?
Oh, that's a really good call here. So the Lions are very bad against tight ends. They're very bad against tight ends. So I think Everett is firmly in play this week. No Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnston, still not not 100% because we don't know what to expect. So I like Everett. I think Schultz is fine, but look, let's not chase the Texans from last week. Last week we talked about the fact that it was a really good matchup because Stroud shreds zone defenses, and that's what the Bucs play. This week it may be a little rougher because Cincinnati's coordinator is going to change it up on CJ.
I've kind of 2 Deontay Foreman questions, so I'll combine them in one. One, is he worth the play tonight? And someone says, who's a better RB2, Foreman or Sanders?
Well, they're both kind of mid. I mean, really, but Foreman makes some good plays. And I think that for them to win tonight, they're going to have to run. So I have no problem playing Foreman. I thought Sanders looked really good out of the backfield last week, catching some passes. And, saying the words Miles Sanders and looking good in a sentence hasn't been said in weeks. But I'm not prepared to go back there. Man, Bryce Young, if you were the Panthers, are you regretting your overall pick there? Because I liked Bryce Young coming out of the draft. But, man, Stroud just looks bigger, faster, stronger, and more confident in the pocket.
Adam, who's a Jags fan, wants to know Trevor Lawrence or Joe Burrow.
We are never sitting Joe Burrow at this point. I mean, they're just playing. As bad as he looked early on, is as confident as they are playing right now. And you want to ride this. You do. You want to ride this. Now, I don't think the Texans are an easy matchup for sure, but I think there's going to be a high-scoring game. And I think that Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback when he's all fit, and he looks pretty darn fit.
Madison or Javonte Williams? Who you starting at running back, Doc?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think that so look, I'll give you guys a sneaky pickup in leagues. Ty Chandler. So Ty Chandler from I believe North Carolina. He was supposed to be the backup running back this year, but he didn't really get any run because they brought in Cam Akers pretty soon. So Chandler's interesting if you need a pickup. I don't dislike Madison at all. New Orleans lets up a lot of catches to running backs out of the backfield. I think he's interesting. Both players are good. I just feel like Madison is going to get a ton of touches.
JB Vike in a PPR wants to know Bijan Robinson or Gibbs.
Are you guys as, mystified as I am about how Arthur Smith can just blow this with Bijan?
I'll tell you what, I don't know if going forward, if he's going to stay head coach, if I can draft a Falcon on my team.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you look, David, you're connected. You've got to think that he's turning into a McDaniels type of guy, which is never that's not a compliment, by the way. At this point, I think the team's got to be turning on him because you've got your best player and you barely let him touch the football. So
as a Robinson owner, it's a little bothersome when I've lost a bunch of close games and he's not produced.
Yeah, look, it's one thing if he has the football and doesn't do anything with it. But when he doesn't have the football, there's other issues here. So right now, I don't. Now, look, I think the game in Arizona seems like it's a really good fit for him, but I've been saying that for weeks. I think I'd still play him because he's hugely talented, but man, it's hard right now. But I think I'll probably click the button on him.
All right. Start one here, quarterback. Purdy, Carr, or Dobbs?
I think Carr is in the best spot. Minnesota, hard to run against, easier to throw against. I like how New Orleans is playing. Josh Dobbs did an amazing job last week. Let's give him all the credit in the world. But, look, he's still Josh Dobbs, right? And I think Hawkinson is dealing with a rib injury, and KJ Osborne is doubtful. And so all of a sudden you're throwing a Brandon Powell, and Addison is going to get triple covered. So I'm not sure I can play Dobbs, but I think I can play Purdy for sure. But I like Derek Carr this week.
JT Simpson wants to know Logan Thomas or Taysom Hill. How do you not play Taysom Hill?
Yeah, so I have this problem with Logan Thomas. Whenever I play him, he sucks. So I'll tell you what, JT, I won't play Logan this week, so maybe he'll be good. But I think you're exactly right. I think the most exasperating player is not Bijan Robinson. It's Taysom Hill. Because his mere presence on the field ruins Carr, ruins Olave, ruins Kamara. He's a ruiner. I can't stand this guy, but he's a good play.
Someone says, hurting with buys, Taysom Hill, Hunt, and Pierce. Start 2, bench 1.
Yeah, I think right now I'm going to play Taysom Hill for sure. And I think we have to see if Pierce is even playing. I expect him to. If he does, Hunt is somewhat interesting because I think they may need to use him more. But, Ford is getting a lot of play. I guess I'll go with Hunt because, Pierce has been such a disappointment. I don't even know how they fix that. I've lost confidence in him, and I love this guy. I think this guy's a battering ram. But for some reason, they're not letting him, touch the football.
All right. Salty Drew has a quarterback question, Sam Howell or Kyler Murray, which leads me into after you answer that, talk a little bit more about Kyler Murray and how much stock you're going to put in him going forward.
Well, all right. So right now I'm going to play Sam Howell in a game that I think is going to – Sam Howell is like almost a lock play because he throws so much. He makes mistakes for sure, but that game I think could be wide open. But, look, Arizona, this is interesting because you're giving Kyler a chance to be your guy because it'll be easy to take a quarterback next year. And I don't know whether Caleb Williams wants to go there. He's going to want to own the franchise, and I don't think the Bidwells are going to be happy about that. But look, Kyler is a talented player, and I think it raises the profile of McBride. Connor's coming back soon. Hollywood Brown is, of course, there. Michael Wilson is there. I think there's a semblance of an offense if Murray can play well. The problem is Murray is highly inconsistent. There's some weeks where he's running and he's throwing and he looks great, and there's some weeks he just doesn't look great. So I think right now you got to give him the second half of the season to see whether or not he could be the quarterback that you hope that he can be. That being said, fantasy-wise, unless I'm an injury, unless there's injuries or buys, I want to stay away at least for the first week or two.
Flex, D-Hop, T. Higgins, Kenneth Walker. Who you playing?
I think Hopkins is a must-play. Will Levis looks pretty darn good, and I think he feels like a must-play to me. Tennessee went from a team that was buried to all of a sudden, I think there's something there because this kid can throw. He can. And I think that he makes Hopkins relevant. How many weeks? I was benching Hopkins before Levis came on in. So that tells you everything you need to know, right? This guy's making their star player a star again.
Flex PPR, Keaton Mitchell or Tyjae Spears?
Ooh, okay. I do like Keaton Mitchell, but I feel like he has to be used in the right spots. And I'm not worried I'm worried that this isn't it, against Cleveland's defense. But I don't hate it. I don't hate the play. Spears may be interesting because it's hard to run against the Buccaneers, right? They stop the run pretty well, and they're asking you to throw the ball on them. And that's where Spears fits in nicely. So do I think Mitchell can make one or two plays? I do. But I think that you're going to look at Spears, and he's going to have like 11 points this week, and you're going to be like, where'd that come from? It's going to go like 4 for 30, receiving and maybe 30 yards rushing, and there you have it, 10 or 11.
You got a couple of DFS bargains for us, Doc?
I really like Brandon Powell this week because I think they're who else do they have? And you know that New Orleans doesn't cover slot receivers very well. And I normally have a rule. It's called never Najee, right? Because I kind of hate Najee Harris.
Right.
So I think one of Jalen Warren and Najee Harris against Green Bay at their prices, I think the winning lineup is going to have one of those guys in there.
And Empire has a wide receiver question. Cortland Sutton, Jacoby Myers, or Christian Watson?
I think it's Cortland Sutton against Buffalo. I mean, look, I've been frustrated with Buffalo. The same things they've been doing wrong on defense 3 years ago, they do wrong today. It hasn't changed. And I think it's their Achilles heel. So, I mean, Russell Wilson has not played that badly this year. And Cortland Sutton's been his favorite target. I have no problem playing Sutton.
By the way, I think because the head coach and the defensive coordinator have been pretty much one and the same, I think that's why, you're seeing now what you saw then.
Look, I respect him immensely. I think he's a wildly talented coach. I do. But sometimes you can't be everything. You've got to let other people do jobs and you're the guy in charge of everybody. But I think you're right. I think sometimes head coaches should not be play callers.
He's Dr. Roto, drroto.com, drroto.com, a tremendous fantasy site. He's put a hell of a staff together about all sports. And you can listen to him Saturday mornings, sometimes even Sunday mornings, but Saturday mornings on SiriusXM's Fantasy Sports Radio. And follow him on Twix, Twitter/X, at Dr. Roto, DRROTO. Doc, thanks for the house call. Be well.
Have a great week, guys. Bye-bye.
Dr. Roto, capping off our Thursday show along the network.
Always trying to get that DFS bargain.
I know you
are. The people that play. Well, for me.
I know.
But for the people that play as well. I mean, because a lot of people their teams that could be done DFS every week. Opportunity to become a millionaire. As Doc says, become one of his rich friends.
Right. Right. Which, we've known him for years and we can't make that list.
No.
Damn. All right. Along the network, hope you enjoyed the show. The Diamond District bonus hour is next.
Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Life Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlifetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
If that segment goes well, do we run it again tomorrow at like 7:21?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Golly.
What about my sign? I have high in thumbtacks.
I just listen. I would you use?
There it is. That's the shot. That's the money shot right there, with the Emmy right over the left ear.
I mean, what do I? You want me to what? Angle it like that?
You're fine. You're freezing up so much right now. It's not even funny.
How could that be?
You've had it. This has been a tough broadcast. It has not sounded great at all. You've been glitchy at times.
This is ridiculous. It's possible. Yeah, huh. Huh.
10 seconds.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Daniel Wallach will join us coming up in about 20 minutes. He's overseas, but he's making time for us. So we'll get the latest legal analysis, expert opinion about how long we're going to continue to have online sports wagering in the state of Florida.
This is the damnedest thing. I've never paid more attention to legalese than you and I have with this whole Florida gambling case and the many tentacles that it has. And it gets confusing. And that's why we bring Daniel Wallach on to get a little bit of levity to what's going on in the gambling world.
It's funny. We want it to continue, yet most of us want it changed all at the same time because we want more options than just the Seminoles, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
And we want the FanDuels and the DraftKings. We want to be able to shop odds and be able to shop point lines and figure out where the best advantage is for you, the gambler. And that's all we're shooting for. But right now, all we have is the Hard Rock app.
So we'll talk to Daniel Wallach about, where he sees this going from here. We've had some fun with some poll questions today. And yes, more than one. That's right. More than one poll question in the show today. Oftentimes, you're lucky to get more than one a week. We had more than one today. So if, Mark says if, I say when, the Patriots fire Bill Belichick, do you want your team to hire him? And apparently, no. Bum, done with him. Nope, hire some assistant, some coordinator who's never done it before. Not Bill Belichick. What do I want him for? Bum. So what's it, 70% more?
Well, David, it's a little less than 70%. 34% would want Belichick. 66% would not. But the good news, David, is that Pizza Hut is offering a pizza with shredded snake meat. Would you eat it? There are now more people who would want to hire Bill Belichick for their team than would eat a snake pizza.
Oh, man, he was losing all morning.
And it's close. It's literally by 1 percentage point. 33, literally, it's 2/3 of you would not eat snake pizza. 1/3 of you would. And just a little more than that would hire Belichick.
Which, of course, then leads to what our third poll question should be is, if you have a choice, you can only have one, Bill Belichick as your coach or to eat a snake pizza. And my fear is Belichick's stock has fallen so far that he would lose to a snake pizza.
If I put a pizza in front of you right now, would you be able to eat a piece with all this snake pizza talk? If there was just meat on there and you weren't really able to identify it.
No. I have to now, for the rest of today, I'm going to need to be sure of everything that I eat.
Like if I put ground sausage on a pizza and just set that in front of you and said, go ahead, have a piece.
No way. No way. My mind would play tricks with me and think that somehow I've been shipped to Hong Kong. No. It's cheese, pepperoni, or bust. That's it. That's all I'm eating today. You guys have messed me up. You really have.
Would you be angry at one of your friends if they gave it to you without telling you what it was and you ate it and you liked it? What if you liked it? Or would it just mentally be too much for you to handle?
I don't know if I'd be able to keep it down. I never, and I mean ever, am unable to keep anything down. Okay. I do not get sick when I eat. I do not get sick when I drink. All right. I am like an iron stomach. But I'd be very vulnerable today. You guys are really messing with me. Mark went right to my kryptonite, right to it.
I saw the story this morning. Dan Walken had retweeted it and just said, no, just no. And I responded to him. And I said, better than pineapple on a pizza. And he's like, no, it's not. I mean, yeah, he responded to me like, you're nuts. I'm not doing snake on a pizza. So you and Dan Walken, I think, are of the same ill on this one. Ill being the key word.
Listen, I'm going to be messed up the rest of the day. I don't know. Do I like starve myself the rest of the day, or do I have to go out and eat something that I thoroughly love like immediately after the show? Seriously, you guys have really done a number on me on this show. Never mind the fact that apparently Bill Belichick, no interest. Don't want him. Not unless Tom Brady can come with him. All right. He's no good without Brady.
81-94, as someone pointed out to me, without Brady.
Please. Listen, I got a text from a coach, a coach who's won hundreds of games at his sport. Okay, I got a coach that said, never won a damn thing without Brady. No. Okay. We'll say he hasn't been blessed with a whole lot of other good quarterbacks. All right, but
and that's the problem. He's responsible for those other quarterbacks.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. But when you don't have to pick another one for nearly 20 years.
And he got lucky on, let's be honest, he got lucky on that one.
Totally. Obviously. You don't pick him at 199 if you think he's going to be good. Never mind the greatest of all time. Yes, of course. But, come on. The guy can coach. He's not a people person.
I'd probably bring him as a D coordinator. I can't even do it with a straight face. I had to turn away.
Somebody pointing out Samuel Joel in our Twitch chat room. He cut Kozar. He cut Kozar after he threw a touchdown. He was so tired of Bernie changing the plays. Bernie changed the play. He sent in a play. Bernie changed it, said to the wide receiver, pretend like you're running the post and then make it a go. Okay? And I'll pump fake, and then we'll throw it over the safety, and it'll be a touchdown. And the wide receiver's like, I'm going to get in trouble. Bernie's like, we're going to score a touchdown. You're not going to get in trouble. So sure enough, it happens. It's a pump fake, and then boom, touchdown. Yeah, Bill cut him. Tired of you changing the plays. Bernie, by the way, pulled a Joshua Dobbs. Peter King says it's the most impressive thing. Maybe it's changed in the last year or so, but Peter King said in all the years he's been covering the NFL, the most impressive thing he ever saw was Bernie Kosar, who got picked up like 2 days after he got cut by the Browns, got picked up midweek by Jimmy Johnson and the Cowboys, and had one practice and 2 days of studying and went out and won a game. Said it's the most impressive thing he's ever seen in the league.
And Joshua Dobbs, what he did last week was quite impressive. Doc Roto, not trusting him for any more of that, though, for you fantasy players.
Not long term, no. Well, especially this week also. He thinks, that Hawkinson's hurt, the other tight end's hurt. They're still down Jefferson. He implied, the next week or two, let's revisit this.
And Jefferson started practicing again, but that doesn't mean he'll play this week.
No, 21 days. Once they do that, you got 21 days. Like Fields, he came back this week, not good enough to play. Now, they'll have 10 days before their next game. The thought is Justin Fields probably be ready for that. By the way, I'll put you in charge of ESPN here. So you can start flexing out of games after Thanksgiving. Your first Monday nighter after Thanksgiving, Chicago at Minnesota. You keeping it? Yes or no?
What can I get?
Well, the choices aren't great.
I mean,
that's the thing.
That's really the question, because you do have 3 games on Thanksgiving that day, so none of those are in reach. The Friday game's not in reach. So you're looking at other Sunday games to move.
And the Sunday night game's not available. So, right.
Well, the Sunday night game can be flexed too.
Exactly.
I would take Steelers Bengals right now.
I don't think they can get their hands on it.
It's not a one. I mean, for the record, it's not a 4:25 game. It's a 1:00 game.
I know. I don't think they can get their hands on it. It also would mean back-to-back Bengals games because the next week they do Cincinnati, Jacksonville. I don't know if there's a thing about that. Here's what I'm wondering. Would you do Saints Falcons, which could be for first place in the South?
No.
Really?
I think the Bears will draw better. I think the Bears will do a better number.
Okay. Now,
would you get Chiefs Raiders?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a limit about how many times you could be on prime time, because the Chiefs are at it. They're at it and then some.
Because they're a 4:25 game against the Raiders. So I would look at that. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to get Bills and Eagles. I would definitely do that.
Yeah, they're definitely not getting that. Okay, 2 weeks later, you've got Packers Giants on Monday night. Would you keep the game?
No.
Thank you. That's where I was.
No.
Not that they put it to a vote at the production meeting, but they were just talking about future games, and they talked about Green Bay and the Giants. You know me, Mark. I just can't keep my mouth shut. I said, we're not seriously doing that game, are we? And the ESPN executive turned and looked at me, and he's like in the top 5 of the food chart too. He just turned and looked at me and said, it's the Packers and the Giants. I said, it's Jordan Love and Tommy DeVito. I go combined, they'll be 6-14.
Well, literally, it was, Dan Patrick does his promos for the Sunday night games. And he had to read the promo for the Jets and the Raiders this week. And it's Sauce Gardner and Max Crosby. He's like, when's the last time you had a promo that can't even feature either quarterback in it?
Right. Now, I will say they're promoting the 9:30 game in Germany, and it's Jonathan Taylor and Mac Jones. I've heard that. So they're not even giving Minshew the love. Daniel Wallach, how long are we going to be able to gamble in Florida?
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
This sounds weird, but when you made that comment about my signal, like I got people I got a lot of people telling me, like on Twitch, people listening on the app that I know that I've texted them, how's it sounded? That they said I've sounded like clean, sharp.
That last segment, there were times that I couldn't hear you while you were talking.
Yeah, it's pretty glitchy.
Yeah, I don't know how people on the radio and the app are hearing it be clean, because that last segment wasn't. If they are, that's great.
Do you want me to log off and log on? I mean, I'm wondering, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, is it possible?
I would try it, David. If you have enough time to do it, I would go for it. It's just spotty internet. That's all it is.
Oh, but I just wondering if it's on my how.
Well, see, now you sound fine. It comes and goes.
Yeah, it comes. Now you sound perfect. Oh, he just disconnected.
Well, yeah, it's clean on Twitch because it's just picking up his StreamYard. But when it comes through the mic.
Which leads me to believe it's our computer.
Probably.
It leads me to believe it's probably this computer, David.
I think it is. That's also because I'm on a hard line here, and I'm paying for like the best that they have.
So it better be clean.
Well, no, I mean, it's very concerning.
Yeah. No, I think it's the computer. Mark's right. We can have.
Well, there's nothing you could do about the 1979 IBM there. I mean, Mark, pound the side of the console. The hamster's falling asleep.
Tell the hamster to run a little faster. Put a little snake pizza.
Wake up, Ernie.
So we got a snake named Ernie. We got a hamster named Ernie.
Well, that's why I called them Ernie. Because I'm called the snake Ernie.
Hey, just wait until if we do get all those sports books in Florida, you're gonna have 100 different ads.
That's the whole game.
Please, Trent. This part of the show is interrupted by DraftKings.
That's why we're doing this. I mean, that's the whole. That's why he's done well in Michigan. That's the whole.
I've noticed the difference being down here in 2 weeks. Like when you watch TV, you don't see any of that down here. When you're up there, it's all you see. BetMGM, DraftKings.
Yes. Yes, Trent. We're trying to retire. I'm 57. Mark's 54. We need 10, 12 more years. And we want to do it on the back of gamblers.
Damn right.
Trent, I don't know. It might have been when we started our second act. It was early in our second act.
Hey, Wallach's calling. He's not listening.
All right.
I just no need to tell a story to someone that's not
paying attention.
That was not him. That was a random person.
Okay. Well, he's usually punctual. If he says 9:20, he'll call it 9:20. That was a wrong number.
I'm not making this up. Someone just called and asked for Taylor Swift tickets. Hi, I'm just calling for Taylor. The same. I'm the same one's ringing.
You got to answer it. So.
Nothing. People are calling about tickets.
Oh,
someone must have given out the wrong number somewhere.
Oh, God, this is not good.
It's not stopping. It's ringing again.
Well, this is not funny.
It's awful. Coming back.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Hoping to catch up with Daniel Wallach for a few minutes to talk about the situation in Florida with the Seminole app and just how long we're going to have this. Remember, we had it for what, about a month 2 years ago?
Yeah, we had a short little run.
Right.
And then it went away. And now it's back.
And gaming and sports attorney Daniel Wallach, kind enough to join us. You can follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at Wallach Legal. Wallach Legal. Daniel, it's David and Mark. Thanks for your time. How are you?
Daniel, are you there? Well, for whatever reason,
we can't hear him.
We cannot hear him. There we go. There it is.
Yeah.
Daniel, you're there. Now we got you.
Yeah, perfect. Now it's crystal clear. How are you?
Great. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, this is my last night for transatlantic flight, so this will be my final radio interview in Europe. So I'm coming home, and hopefully there'll be some resolution sometime soon. I'm flying right into two pending court battles. So it's like nothing has changed over the last year except sports betting. Looks like it might begin, but we don't know now for how long.
Well, that's the question. I mean, in your best guess, for how long are we going to have sports gambling in Florida?
Well, I look at this in increments, okay, because you have to consider the state court case separately from the U.S. Supreme Court case. Right now, what's in front of the next battleground is going to be this emergency motion to suspend the sports betting provisions of state law. That's going to be decided within the next week. And I think I've been on record as saying that this is an uphill battle for West Flagler because they're litigating in Governor DeSantis' home turf, which is the state Supreme Court, where he appointed 5 out of the 7 justices. And I've done my research on this. There have been like 14 similar lawsuits brought against Governor DeSantis at the Florida Supreme Court seeking the same remedy, a writ of quo warranto. The Supreme Court has never granted that writ against Governor DeSantis. So putting aside the merits, I think politically it's a very uphill battle given that this is a very DeSantis-friendly court. I think the argument is pretty good for West Flagler, but I expect, and I've said this all along, that to the extent there's any success for West Flagler in overturning online sports betting, I think their best shot is at the U.S. Supreme Court, even though the Supreme Court denied a stay a couple of weeks ago, but Justice Kavanaugh, I think, gave West Flagler a little bit of hope. But I don't expect much to happen at the Florida Supreme Court. So from a timing perspective, I don't think anything is going to change for the next several weeks.
He's the legal analyst for The Athletic. He's co-host of the sports law podcast, Conduct Detrimental. He's Daniel Wallach. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at Wallach Legal. You had said to us many times ago, best chance was before the U.S. Supreme Court, but you also said once upon a time that once the court says we're going to take your case, that most people involved in the dispute stop what they're doing out of respect to the Supreme Court. A, do you still believe that? And B, if the court's going to take this case, when will they let that be known?
Okay, well, number one, I still believe that, but the court has not yet taken the case because there is not yet any case. The deadline for West Flagler to file what's called a petition for writ of certiorari, which is the appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. That's not due until December 11th. They said they're going to file it by November 20th. And, the operation, or at least the relaunch of online sports betting, was the battleground over an application for stay that was made by West Flagler at the same court, at the U.S. Supreme Court. They didn't have a pending case yet. But they filed this preliminary, emergency motion and said that we're going to file a case later on, but for now we want everything stayed. Those are very difficult to get, and the denial of that doesn't necessarily mean the court is going to deny certiorari as well. So I think once the stay was denied, I mean that was all about the relaunch, the Seminole Tribe are free to move forward, at least in the federal court system. And let's say the U.S. Supreme Court is interested in this case. The time frame on that will have an answer, I think, by the end of March, because if the petition is filed November 20th, the Seminole Tribe and the Department of Interior get 30 days to respond to that. West Flagler will get 14 days thereafter to file their reply brief, and the petition and all the supporting and opposition papers get distributed to the justices for their weekly conferences at some point in January. And I would expect we'll know by the end of January, February, or March, in that ballpark, whether the Supreme Court is willing to hear this case on the merits, or, as they do in 98% of the cases, deny the petition for writ of certiorari. If they grant, will the Seminole Tribe stop? I don't think, in the absence of any further motion, I don't think the Seminole Tribe are required to terminate their online sports betting. But what will happen is, if the U.S. Supreme Court grants certiorari, what West Flagler might then do is file another application in the pending case and say, now that the court has granted certiorari, can we stay, or recall the mandate from the D.C. Circuit? So that possibility exists. But if it's going to be a denial, we'll know in about 4 months. And that's the earliest point at which a U.S. Supreme Court ruling could force the Seminole Tribe to terminate or at least suspend its online sports betting provisions. But in the federal court system, there's not going to be any adverse court order or emergency motions for the next couple of months. To the extent that there's any chance that sports betting has to be stopped again, it's only going to be because of a Florida Supreme Court ruling. And I would expect by the end of next week, the Florida Supreme Court will rule on West Flagler's emergency motion to temporarily suspend the mobile sports betting provisions of state law. And if they deny that, then we're on another, deadline for the briefs to be filed on the merits of this petition. And that will probably be decided in the first quarter of 2024. So based on how I read the situation, I think for the remainder of this year, it's highly likely that there will be no change in the status quo. Retail sports betting will likely continue, as will online sports betting, because I think if the Florida Supreme Court rules in favor of West Flagler, I will be very surprised given the political dynamic of that court.
Daniel, we got no more than 30 seconds. All right. I know the Supreme Court only takes 2% of the appeals, but this is changing federal law, and it involves 36 other states in sports gambling. Don't you think they're going to take this case?
I do. I absolutely do. And Justice Kavanaugh, I think it gives some hope to those who believe that the Supreme Court will hear the case, because he said point blank in his opinion that, in his view, this deeming of off-reservation wagers to somehow magically be on Indian land is a workaround and likely violates IGRA. You need 5 justices for a stay, but only 4 for a cert grant. And this does change federal law. It's in conflict with at least 10 Federal Court of Appeals decisions. This is the only one that ever said that IGRA can apply to tribal gaming outside of Indian lands. And I think it's the perfect circuit split with some far-reaching repercussions downstream in these dozens of other states. And it's an important question of federal law that the U.S. Supreme Court has never definitively addressed. So I think it's the perfect vehicle for U.S. Supreme Court review.
Daniel, thanks so much for your time. Always appreciate your insight.
Safe travels.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Daniel Wallach.
For the day.
Conduct Detrimental is the great podcast. He is the legal expert for The Athletic and joining us here on Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for listening. Where else but the Florida Sports Network?
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to make sure you're shopping with the best. And the best when it comes to GIA certified diamonds and diamond jewelry is not online. It's not in the malls. And it's not with any of the new pop-up jewelry stores trying to make a go of it here in Southwest Florida. The best place to buy diamonds is with my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, who have made Southwest Florida their home for over 20 years now. The largest selection of GIA certified diamonds is with the Diamond District. The only place you'll find diamonds 8 to 10% over cost is with the Diamond District. America's top bridal designers have chosen the Diamond District to represent their engagement rings exclusively in Southwest Florida. Simply put, the best selection, experience, and best prices are with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Okay, buried in bourbon. Let me translate it for you. So there's state and federal. The folks trying to stop this / change it right now have nothing existing before the federal court, but they will within the next 2 to 4 weeks. At the state court, they've asked the state Supreme Court to intervene. They likely will next week not intervene. They'll say they're not going to do it. So what we have, we're going to continue to have. And then the people that want to stop it, which they really want to change it, they want to keep sports gambling. They just want it to be more than just the Seminole Tribe. They want everybody, DraftKings, FanDuel, everybody to be able to get involved. They're going to file their appeal before the Supreme Court by mid-January. And then the court will, by the spring, let us know, are they going to hear the case or not? So what it most likely means is we're going to have gambling through the football season. The question is, are we going to continue to have it through March Madness? Really? That could be up in the air, whether or not we get to continue the status quo through March Madness. And by the spring, one way or the other, this matter is going to get resolved. Either what we have now is what we're going to have forever, or Florida is going to have to do what the other states do, which is allow everyone else to be involved. And just because the Seminole Tribe opens up a shop in a strip mall in San Carlos Park, that's not Indian land. Right now, they're claiming it is. And they're claiming they have a monopoly on the app. And that's why we can't get anyone else, DraftKings, FanDuel, etc.
Messy.
Right. We're going to have sports wagering in Florida. It's just a matter of how is it going to be done? Is it going to stay the way it is right now, only through the Seminole Tribe, their app, their Hard Rock casinos? Or is the tribe going to have it at their casinos? And are there going to be all the apps that everybody else has in all the other states that allow gambling?
Oh.
DeSantis wants the Seminole Tribe to have a monopoly on the gambling. and it's against federal law, or at least it was.
All right, good. I got all these stories done. That works out well because it's the next segment.
So,
nomination for the ugly. You could do people calling our.
No, I was just talking with them. The phone lines got something happened here in the building because Daniel Wallach got picked up by B103 in their studio. The phone lines literally got switched somehow, some way.
They were like, "Hi, we're calling for Taylor Swift tickets."
Yeah, they were giving them away on B103. That's.
Well, I feel bad for that lady, whoever called me. Maria, her name was. She seemed very nice. Also, just a thought. Apparently, Tyreek Hill got married the other night.
Yes.
Oh, good for him.
And someone in the Twitch, Adam in the Twitch chat, I think, is calling him out. Yeah, he says, "What an idiot. You're in South Beach, dude. Get married after you're done playing." I think that's a baller move. It's their bye week. Get married on the bye. Who else can say they did that?
Yeah, really. I mean,
wait till Saturday night in Rio.
What'd you do on your bye week?
Married Taylor Swift.
Maybe he'll propose to her on stage. That crowd would be deafening if that
They'd
happened.
boo.
You think they'd boo?
Nah, I don't know.
I have no idea. They might. Miller and Moulton giving away Taylor Swift tickets.
Yes.
All right, we're coming back in a few.
That'd be great.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Thanks to Todd and Jason for making this extra hour exclusive to our Southwest Florida audience continue to happen. Football Friday tomorrow. Lee Sterling, Pat Kerwin amongst our guests.
And David, as you have pointed out, it is the Christmas season.
Is it ever? Is it ever? So just a little insight there. So during the commercial break, before Daniel Wallach joined us, Daniel's calling from Russia. And because half his family's Russian and he spends, 4+ months a year. And so he's calling us. And so a minute before he was supposed to call, the phone rings. And we're all excited. We're like, oh, great, he's calling. That's great. Because we don't like it when the guests call it. We want to call them. This way we can control. We know they're going to be on.
And if they're not on, we know. We know quickly.
Mark, it wasn't Daniel Wallach. Who was it?
It was Maria, who was looking for Taylor Swift tickets, because apparently all of the phone lines in the building, they were giving away tickets on one of the other stations in the building. And somehow the phone lines got crossed that we were getting all of their calls because they just walked down from their studio and said, were you guys supposed to have a Daniel Wallach call your show?
Yes.
Because
yes,
the call went into them.
Yeah, I'll trade you Maria. You give us Daniel Wallach. How about that?
Listen, we love Daniel Wallach. He's great to us. All right. But, I mean, the tickets go with Maria. I mean, are you sure we made the right trade? I mean, with Maria, we get the Taylor Swift tickets, right? We go down the hall and we say, listen, she doesn't know that she's called the sports station. She thinks that you're giving her, so we need those tickets. We got to give those tickets to Maria. No?
Should have put her right on the air.
That's what we should have done. You're right.
In retrospect, they just said, you're on the air.
Right.
Florida Sports Network. She would have been really confused at that point.
Right. Maria, by the way, what's your thoughts on the Seminole Tribe's gaming compact?
Are you a Travis Kelce fan?
What do you think about how Mahomes is getting the ball to Kelce these days? Huh? Anyway.
What do you think of Brittany?
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
And by Brittany, we mean Mahomes, not Spears, Maria. Come on. Get with the program.
Today in 1620, the Mayflower spots land.
Oh, it's about damn time. I've been out there a while. It's just
1861, the first documented Canadian football game at the University of Toronto.
Okay.
1906, Teddy Roosevelt's the first president to visit another country. He visited Puerto Rico and Panama. Joe Cocker's version of the Beatles song With Little Help from My Friends hits number 1 today in 68. Simon and Garfunkel record Bridge Over Troubled Water today in 69. Billy Joel releases Piano Man today in 1973. Sugar Ray retires for the first time today in 1982.
Remember that? It was a big dinner. Hagler was in attendance. Hagler was convinced that Sugar Ray was going to announce that they're fighting. And Sugar Ray just says, nope, it's time. I can't do it. And the look on Hagler's face was like, you serious? I got dressed up. I came here for this.
96, Holyfield upsets Tyson in an 11th round knockout.
That's an excellent fight if you ever get the chance to see it. Seriously, it's a good, solid fight. Tyson hit him hard, often, and Holyfield handled it. It was a good heavyweight fight.
David Bowie performs for the last time on stage today in 2006. Would love to see it. It was in New York. He did Changes with Alicia Keys. That would be really cool. Now I'm going to have to see if there's any footage of that somewhere.
Wait, 2000 when?
6.
Wow.
And today in 2019, it was the last segment of Coach's Corner with Don Cherry. Spiro Agnew, Carl Sagan, Bob Gibson, Tom Weisskopf, all born today. Whitey Herzog's 92. Minnesota Wild GM and NHL player Billy Guerin's 53 and David Duval's 52. What did I miss, David?
Well, they started tearing down the wall tomorrow, but it was today, 34 years ago, that East Germany basically opened up the gates. They said, yeah, you guys can go through. You can go to West Germany. And needless to say, the people were kind of fired up about that. The next day, they were on the wall, knocking it down, tearing it down, the whole deal. And Brokaw, the next day, was on the wall with them. They were chiseling away behind him while he was hosting the nightly news. It was great television. For 1989, it was incredible television. I mean, think about it. You're reporting on whatever you're reporting on, and they are chiseling away the Berlin Wall behind you.
That's called a good live shot, David.
That is. That's a good set.
Yes.
You know, like the networks, they go out a year in advance to find out where they're going to do their Super Bowl pregame from and what have you. Hey, listen, we'd like to cover down the tearing of the Berlin Wall. How close can you get us? How about on the wall? Okay.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to Michigan for the good, where 57-year-old newlywed bought a scratcher the day after their wedding and hit for $1 million.
Man, all these scratchers that are paying off. Have you ever won more than like $50 on a scratcher?
I don't think I've ever won more than 25 on a scratcher. And they don't even have to put their name in the story, so they were able to get away with this without having to get their names out there. They won $1 million. They're married. Good for them. For the bad, we go to Collier County, where Camilio Restepo was doing 107 and a 45 on his motorcycle.
Wow.
When police tried to pull him over, he took off, hitting 120. But while being pursued by deputies, his motorcycle hit a curb. And he wrecked it. And he was taken into custody. They don't get those motorcycle guys that often. Usually those guys sneak away.
Yeah.
Finally, the ugly, we go to Jersey, where Jay Vaughn thought he had sold his Chevy Silverado truck. And with the buyer in his driveway, a deer came flying through the yard, tried to jump his Silverado, and landed in the bed of it, denting the truck, causing him to have to knock $1,000 off the sale. Deer 1, truck 0.
That's not the first time a deer has beaten a truck, by the way.
And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, November the 9th, 2023.
Well, listen, we've got football tonight, but not just a lousy NFL game. We've got
what lousy college games do we have as well?
We've got 2 in Virginia taking on 11th ranked Louisville in Louisville, 7:30 on ESPN. Louisville's like a 20-point favorite. How about Louisville ranked 11th in the country? And if you're a Florida State fan, you want Louisville to keep winning.
Yes, you do.
Because that's who you want to play in the ACC championship game. Southern Miss and Louisiana also playing 7:30 tonight on ESPN2.
I know Virginia's only got a couple of wins, but are you really comfortable laying 20 points in Louisville?
You know I love him as a coach.
I mean, they're fine. They've won their last 2 games. They beat the hell out of Virginia Tech. They beat Duke. They shut Duke out, but Duke didn't have their quarterback. So
I know what you're saying. It seems like a lot to me. I would stay away. I might go the over, but I think I would stay away. Hey, there's a lot of hockey games. I mean, a lot of hockey games. There's like 11 of them. Lightning are hosting the Blackhawks.
Ooh.
You got to lay a lot of money if you're doing the money line. Tampa Bay is like minus 260.
Yeah, but Connor Bedard in town. That's all.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. By the way, the NHL can't do better than this. 2-8-1 Edmonton is at 1-10-1 San Jose.
Yeah, Edmonton's minus 350.
Is that because McDavid's back?
Yes.
Is that? But they're 2-8-1.
I know.
I just so you know, I mean, those teams combined have played 23 games. They've combined for 8 points in the standings in 23 games.
You taking San Jose?
I would throw a few shekels on the money line. The odds are so good. Besides, Mark, they're on a roll.
They're on a roll.
NBA, there's only 2 games tonight. They're both on NBA TV. The Magic are the nightcap. That game's in Mexico City, Atlanta and Orlando in Mexico City. The 7:00 game's Milwaukee and Indiana. Didn't they just play? Didn't Giannis get ejected? Did you see why he got ejected?
Yes,
yeah.
That was ridiculous. That's coming
for
from
dunking the ball.
Well, that was his second technical.
Yeah, I know.
He had, gotten
He got in the guy's face, I guess. If that's what they're going to say. I don't know.
So the first technical, he apparently was arguing a call and he cursed. So the official teed him up. And then the second one, he, don't you have to, as an official, I mean, you're ejecting a Giannis, right? You're going to eject him for, just staring over a guy after he dunked on him? I mean, I don't know. Don't you have to pull them aside and go, hey, just so you know, I could have easily teed you up for that. That would have been number 2. Don't do that anymore. Okay?
It was terrible.
100%. And referees and officials do that all the time.
Right.
Communication between officials and players is paramount to the official doing a good job. And that was a case where the official did not do a good job because he didn't communicate. He just slapped a T to slap a T. It was ridiculous.
But, all right, here we go. NFL tonight, baby. Yeah. If you haven't subscribed to Amazon, what are you waiting for? I was trying my Burgess Meredith thing.
What are you waiting for?
Carolina at Chicago. Combined, these teams are 3-14.
David, what do you think the over-under is? I have it in front of me for Tyson. Is it Bagent or Bagent? How do they pronounce it? What is his over-under for passing yards, do you think?
162.
I was going to go 202.
187 and a half.
Kind of split the difference between
did.
there. I'd go over.
Me too. I love it.
All right, let's.
Come on.
I don't
They're
know
two
about
bad teams.
Right. They're two bad teams.
There's a chance that it's high scoring. Everyone
No,
thinks
there's not.
There's a chance there's high scoring.
Moderate, like 21-17. Would that shock anybody?
That's not high scoring. That's barely an over. I mean, the over is like 36 and a half. I
I
mean,
mean, they are telling us this game is going to be what?
20-16, basically?
21-18.
It's 39?
38 and a half.
Okay, yeah. It's a 3.5 point deal. Yeah. I don't know. That kind of seems high scoring to me for these two teams. The under, by the way, has been the play this whole year, seemingly, but definitely lately in the NFL.
Last couple of weeks for sure. 38 and a half is the over-under. Boy, that just Carolina at Chicago, 21-17 is what they're telling us the game score is going to be. Riveting.
And remember, that'd be under by a half. So I do like the Bears tonight, though.
I do as well.
Carolina's a mess. His first year under Frank Reich has not gone well.
Well, at least they've. Oh, yeah, they don't have their draft pick. Miller and Moulton, a Football Friday tomorrow. Thanks for listening right here. Where else? The Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury,